It's DJ Daniel, you dig? You're tuned in to KOOL Radio, your number one station for the truth about what's happening in the way out wasteland. But enough of my spouting. Let's warm up with some new hot licks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday here on Pod by Night, where I am back with almost the full cast. Maggie is still momming, but we're excited to welcome Maggie's mom to Maggie's space. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to wave at Maggie's mom at some point. But they're all in the middle of some family transitioning, so Maggie's not with us. But the rest of the cast is. That includes Bub, Tracy Bentham, and Zach, of course. Back to bring you some more Fallout Winter of Adam. I feel like I have some announcements to make, but I'm actually going to save those for the end because I want to go straight into this. Last week was fun. Last week was a lot of fun. I'll give my usual top down, and then y'all can give us the important details. Last week, you finished up your time at Beatsville and decided that those poor men who were ready to brave the wasteland for a tour, known as the Jam Bakers, simply could not go it alone. Y'all's conscience would not let that happen, so you volunteered to take them to their first location, which turned out to be exactly where you wanted to go, which was Mechminster Abbey. It was supposed to be nearby, and you were able to pack them up, sort them, and get them on the road. You left Kalita behind to get some rest from this wicked weather in the warmth of the Beatsville, and you did manage to find Mechminster Abbey. But to your surprise, it was under attack. You helped finish off the last of the frost feral ghouls that were making their way through the massive barricade that surrounds this old church. And thanks to your help, you were allowed inside, even though Sister Delilah is a child of Adam. You met kind of three key players here. You met the Reverend Riveter, who, of course, is in charge of everything. You met Sister Amos Nishin, who runs what they call the Confessional, the guns, weapons, mechanics shop here in Mechminster. And Mortimer got the great joy of meeting Sister Geiger, the kind of estranged sister who seems to be working on an anti-radiation weapon and requested some help. At the end of our session, after you had kind of made your rounds, visited the confessional, and settled in for what you hope to be a warm night, it was two of you. I believe it was Mason and Mortimer who spotted some shady business going on in the corner. A man shuffling caps and potentially drugs amongst the people of Limbo here in Mechminster Abbey. And that's kind of where we ended, and we'll pick up. But I want to hear from all of you. What important details do you want to share about last week for your character specifically?
I'll start.
Yeah, I was about to say, get on it.
Yeah. I'll start. Mason reached into the depths of himself to discover that he is basically split. And it's something that he's kind of thought all along, but it's not anything that has been confirmed until it was spoke and from out of the aether into, the material. And there might be some meeting in the middles where we see a Mason's Avoid crossover that feels a lot less of like a chase experience and more of a brother in arms moment. But I think the moment that was more defining specifically for Mason in the last episode was receiving the art from Minnie. From Muse, the super Mason with a cape. That was really sweet.
Reminding you that not all masks have to be worn for bad things.
It's true. He tucked it right in there next to Nucleia and things that matter, right into his heart.
Right next to his little metal heart. And for confessing this split, this You received maybe some advice or needed confinement, but you also gained access to be able to power yourself back up.
Yeah,
Sister Ammunition it plugged you in right in the hindquarters, and you are charging as we speak.
banging on all cylinders. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. What about everybody else? Memorable moments, important things we learned?
Mortimer had a chat with the jam bakers and tried to persuade them not to wander into the wilderness. But then they did anyway, and immediately got a taste of what life on the surface is actually like when we ran into a bunch of feral ghouls that were tearing into Mechminster Abbey. So they're a bit shaken, and maybe they'll decide to go home or at least stay put and not just like tour all around the world and get killed.
You never know.
I think oh, go ahead.
And Mortimer talked about his past and how he ended up in America, which is that when like in the UK, he ended up working for a guy that turned out to not be great and then killed him and ran away. And that's how he ended up here.
So Mortimer's on the run.
Mm-hmm.
Tells us so much about Mortimer. Yeah, big confession. Sister Amos Nisha was actually surprised. She was like, oh,
Yeah.
I got a confession.
Capital C.
Capital C confession. What about you, Big Business?
Yeah, I think, Big Business didn't do a confession last time because, in his own words, he regrets nothing. But I think one of the significant things for him last time was getting to smash some ghouls. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, finally getting to put that briefcase to good use.
Exactly. And I think just as a player, I'm very much looking forward to what we're kind of, now that we can like dig our feet into Mechminster Abbey this session, what that's going to be like. And then, of course, the prospect and possibility of encountering other super mutants soon as part of Sister Geiger's thing. So I feel like Big Business is going to have his big emotional moments soon, maybe. I don't know.
That's okay. Not everybody
that
has
looks
something
like.
to confess, right? But I did love, but here's the thing. You may not have confessed anything, but you sure did deliver something.
That is true.
You
Yes, I
delivered.
did.
You got tricked into delivering the letter from Dead Drop Dave to Sister Amos Nishan, and she had feels.
Oh, that's right. And you know
right.
what? You reminded me of one more thing, which is that when we got that letter, in exchange, he gave Big Business this like weird plant seed thing.
That's right. He gave you the purple fruit. The fruit. He called it the frozen fruit, or like that. He basically told you that it's this new fruit.
It's kind of fleshy.
That he had received. It's kind of fleshy, and it is organic, right? But it has a fleshiness to it. I described it as like a rotten pear, where it rots from the inside out, where the skin is tough enough to hold in the soft insides.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's real tasty. But he gave it to you, and he said that it was kind of a test batch that he had received from a place called the USS Germination.
Cool. Looking forward to eating or using that.
Yeah.
I look forward to who eats it. That being said, what about Sister Delilah?
Yeah, Sister Delilah, not as welcome in Mechminster Abbey upon our arrival, which was to be expected in some ways. Obviously, the Mechminster Abbey has a particular history with the children of Adam, and I was a little worried there's a chance they weren't even going to let us in, or let me in. But we're able to convince,
Do you remember
thankfully.
why she told you she was going to let you in? Just to prove you wrong.
Yes.
Just for you to see the amount of damage that the last son of Adam has done to people's lives.
Yes. And it was certainly eye-opening for sure. And in that, Sister Delilah had her own confession of her confusion and worries in her faith and this potential false messiah. And what Sister Amos really told her was like, you don't have to be take the symbol off. That was her big thing. Like, you don't have to be defined by this. You can still, have that faith and everything, but you don't have to have that symbol. So I thought that was pretty good for Sister Delilah to hear. So
Yep.
yeah.
I think everybody got a little something out of their confessions with Sister
Yep.
Amos Nishan. But Mechminster is not without its flaws. And one of the things that you learned is there may be rampant drug use amongst the refugees that call Limbo home. Those being the actual church benches that still remain here in the kind of main area of the church, nearby the old pulpit, which has been turned into a massive forge. And this evening, you are all going to sleep. You eat slim. You get to taste the great joy that is pew stew, which is basically what you have on you in boiling water cooked in a small pot between church pews. There's nothing special about it. It's almost a joke in itself, a morbid one, but a joke nonetheless. And you kind of have hot soup for dinner. Mason's all plugged up, and Mechminster Abbey goes quiet. As Mortimer, you spot this shady business going on in the corner. This man, he wears just what you'd expect, a large trench coat style jacket to keep out the cold, high collar so you can only see parts of his face, and he keeps to the shadows as he finishes very clearly a under the table deal as caps are passed, and I don't think you rolled high enough to see what was passed, but something was passed back in return.
Wait, I think I did.
You
I think
did,
I
so
told
maybe you're
him.
not plugged in yet then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I told them that they
Yeah.
were substituting Jet, right? Because they were going hungry.
Yes, you're aware. Your medical revealed that basically a lot of these people are suffering from all kinds of different drug use.
Yeah.
But yes, there is like signs around their teeth and lips of jet use, excessive jet use, which if you're thinking about this like good neighbor, this is just a replacement of lack of other things, right?
Yeah.
Enough drugs you don't feel how hungry you are or how cold your toes are. But you can see this sketchy guy, his kind of scraggly hair poking out from underneath a wool beanie. Both of you then. We'll plug you in afterwards, Mason.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the sketchy guy like glared at someone and made a look like
there was
don't say anything.
There was
I
a
think,
complication that you
I
rolled.
think okay, that's right.
You
yes.
saw him as well. You didn't see the trade happen, but you rolled a complication of which you did not spend
that
the luck
he
point
knows
on.
that we see.
And he was aware that you, specifically big business, were watching him make that
Right.
deal.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, and then I glared back at him.
That is
Yeah, I think,
also true.
What are the folk in the space doing right now? Everyone's
Most
just
everybody's
sort of like,
sleeping or like putting the fires out for the night. It's very late and
okay,
cold.
it's like winding down.
And you notice that the forge never goes out. It burns all night. It's an ever-burning flame. So this place does, in fact, stay pretty warm in comparison to other places. You may be hungry, but at least your toes can thaw out.
Okay. Yeah, I think business will turn to his business associates and say,
That guy's not doing anything good. We should see what he's doing and make sure it's not good.
Looks like that's the supplier.
He's currently sitting against the wall now, kind of like eyes kind of peered from underneath his scraggly wet hair, and he is smoking a cigarette kind of crunched up next to a wall, sitting, on his butt, but with his knees kind of tied in. He's keeping to himself.
and business will say,
Drug dealers are bad for business. Want me to lead the way, or do one of you want to?
I think big business.
Okay.
he'll turn around and, as quietly as he can, conscientious of the people who are trying to start to go to sleep, he will tiptoe, which is about as loud as the average person's foot,
Yeah.
towards this guy, and assuming he doesn't run away immediately, big business will stand at the end of the pew that the guy is sitting in.
He sees you see him, and he cuts eyes to you, and still trying to keep some of his face kind of away. It's almost like a double take. He looks a little deeper, if you would, at you, like he might recognize you. And he gets up with this knowing face, and he comes over in somewhat of a whisper because a lot of people in the shared space are now sleeping. And he goes, "Big business. It's me, Tripper. Remember from Good Neighbor?"
Grab him by the
Oh,
arm,
oh.
not like violently, but I grab him by the arm, and I have my briefcase in the other hand, and I say,
Let's do business outside.
But it's cold outside.
You can bear with it.
Ah, fuck. And he kind of tucks
And
his
I kinda, like,
collar up
shove
higher,
him.
and tucks the cigarette deeper in his mouth, and he doesn't leave it behind, but he goes outside. You all see Big Business kind of not manhandle, but
mutant handle.
yeah, mutant handle forcefully suggest he go outside.
And I look back at all of you, and kind of like gesture with my head, like you could come along or
As
leave me to handle it
the
if you
church
want.
door creaks open and y'all go to slip out, you can hear the wind outside, like it's blowing and snow's coming down just on the other side of the church. What is that, stoop?
Yeah, I head outside.
He goes, okay, what you want, man? It's good to see you. It's been a while. It's been before the storm. Big Business, it takes you a second, but now that you kind of got him by the scruff and you bring him out here, you can get a real good look at his face. You do kind of recognize this guy. His name is Tripper, and he is a kind of right-hand street dealer for Hancock and Good Neighbor. He sells drugs along the Commonwealth for Hancock.
Interesting.
That complicates things, doesn't it?
It do.
Thus the complication.
Okay. That occurs to me.
He goes, well, what are you doing here? You're pretty far away from, the city and all that. This place is the slums, but let me tell you what, these people, they'll pay caps for shit drugs.
I can see that.
He goes, you want some? I got a whole bunch. And he opens up his coat, and you can see the coat is lined with a variety of drugs.
I look down at the coat, my eyes widen, and Big Business imagines ripping the coat off of him and throwing it far into the snow. And then he closes his eyes and thinks of Misty and Susan, his pack Brahmin, and calms down. And he opens his eyes again and he says,
I am also on a mission for Hancock.
Oh, that's good. Let me tell you something about Hancock. He'll pay good caps for shit work. And it kind of gives you that punch on the shoulder. And about this time, you all walk out. And you see, like, one side, he's still got open showing off the drugs. And he's in cordial conversation with Big Business. And you see him kind of, like, friendly punch Big Business on the sleeve of his business coat.
You know, Tripper, I never did catch up with you once I heard that Hancock had gotten into selling drugs. I always wanted to meet you. And wonder if you have any other talents.
Why would I need any? Everybody needs drugs in the wasteland, man. It's just good business. Maybe your leg got mauled, by a death claw, or, maybe you was dumb enough to take up on some super mutants, or you're just a little too irradiated because last night you got too friendly with the child of Adam. You know what I'm saying? I got a cure-all for everything.
I'm not super smart, but if I look at the stuff that he has in his coat, does he have anything, like, does he have stim packs, or is it all just
there
like
are stim packs in there, like 2 or 3, but like 3/4 of everything in here is like jet, buff out, except for one. There is a bag, a small leather pouch that is tied kind of low on the coat, that is not like the rest of these, like, openly displayed.
I point at it and say,
What is that?
Oh, he goes, now that's one of a kind. In fact, I don't even know what it does.
Okay.
I got my hand on it, pickpocketing well, that doesn't really matter, does it? You want to see? It's quite something. And he pulls the pouch loose, and you all see this now. He kind of looks at you like maybe he's a little suspicious of you seeing it, but he opens it very clearly for Big Business. And Big Business, it's a piece of the same purple fruit, as if it grew off the same plant.
Have you tried it?
Oh, hell no. Have you seen this shit? It's nasty. But you know what? Just like drugs, everybody in the Commonwealth needs food. So I'm holding out for like the highest bidder.
Right. Well, I have a problem now, Tripper, because people who are addicted to drugs want food less. That would make us competitors.
Well, I don't necessarily see it that way. I'm just doing Hancock's business. So if you're saying you got a problem with me being here selling drugs, then you have a problem with Hancock.
And I kind of like look back through the crack in the door in the church at Misty and Susan and all the stuff that Big Business sells, and goes through his mind that Hancock's just one of the people who he's decided to post up with on occasion, work for, and Big Business has been very used to wandering the wasteland without someone like him over his head.
Yeah.
And he'll look back over at Tripper and say,
Well, then I guess I have a problem with Hancock now.
and I will go to grab his coat and take it from him.
Hey! Hands off! He kind of fights you a little bit. How adamant are you about taking the coat? He goes, here, you can have it. And he hands you the purple fruit. He says, why don't you take that? Free of charge. No charge. Just let me go, man.
I'll take the coat from him.
Okay,
and
I'm gonna
then-
need
Okay.
I will need a strength athletics against his strength athletics.
Okay.
Okay, he didn't make it.
All right.
He didn't get any successes, so this should be pretty easy for you. Yeah. You
Oh
hold-
my god.
I imagine you pick him up by the
Jeez.
scruff of the neck and just
Yeah.
pull the coat off of him like a toddler.
Yep.
And,
And then
he's
I'll
like,
still
no,
hold
hey,
him
hey,
by the scruff of the neck.
hey,
And I'll say,
put me down.
we'll say, I will turn back to whoever else has come out here. And I honestly don't know if any of you would know this information, but Big Business will say,
I met someone who said people need to have less drugs. You can't just stop it. You have to, what's the word? Take
Wean them off.
Yes.
Well, no, hey, you're
So,
stealing from
we
Hancock,
have-
man.
You think I care?
and I'll kind of like drop him so that he falls back down to the ground.
Yeah, he picked himself up. The cigarette's like stuck to his cold lip, you know, what's left of it that's still burning. And he kind of gets up and he dusts himself off. He says, what? I'm going to freeze to death now. You're going to let me freeze to death? And about this time, the door creaks. You see the Reverend Riveter poke her head out. And very calmly, she says, good evening, everyone. It's past bedtime and curfew, and I'd like to know what you're doing out here with one of our refugees. And she points to this man.
I'm shaking him down because he's selling bad drugs to your people.
There's an extended pause and her face goes from kind of trying to be nice to very serious. She says, really? We've been trying to root out our little drug problem here at Mechminster for quite a while. And she kind of cuts eyes to him in that, like, mom knows what you did kind of way. And she looks at all of you and she says, well, we can't let a drug dealer stay under our roof anymore. And she looks at him and she says, but I also can't let you shake him down. Big business. We are a place of kindness, and taking people's things is unkind. But at the same time, I can easily kick him out. Goodbye, strange man with bad taste in clothing. Take your drugs and leave this place.
I will hold his coat and say,
You did offer me this. I will take it.
and I'll reach in and grab the second strange fruit.
Yeah, the
But I'll
little
give him
pouch.
his coat back.
And he kind of puts it on. At this point, the cigarette is all but out in the cold wind, and she says, goodbye. May the wasteland treat you with more kindness than you did the people of this place. And she looks at all of you, and she says, I suggest you come inside. A few minutes more, and you'll begin to have frostbite.
I say to Tripper as he leaves, I say,
If you make it back to Good Neighbor, tell Hancock I will replace the drug business with food. It's more sustainable anyway.
He goes, oh, you best believe. And he's kind of walking away, and he's like yelling over the snow. I'm going to tell Hancock. He's going to find out all about this. You're not going to get away with this big business. This is bad business, big business.
Still business.
Fuck. And he kind of kicks the snow as he turns around and opens the final gate and walks out into the wasteland. And you see it kind of close behind you. And the last sister comes out to check everything's locked up and ushers you all inside so she can barricade the church door.
Well, big business. That was good. Good handling.
I hope so. I don't know. Are drugs...
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you when we return to Good Neighbor.
Oh, it'll be
We'll just
fine.
have to make sure we return with his hat.
Yes. That will
Right.
cancel out all transgressions.
Y'all have left Grant behind to bear the weight of Hancock's
no.
hatred while y'all are on the run. Oh, this is going to be good.
yeah, okay. I think business will. So this is a good point. Like, I did arrive in essentially with a pack Brahmin full of food, but it kind of sounds like if they took anything from it, they just added it to their stew, and maybe these people are just so drug-addled that they're not really even...
There's still, I mean, you're talking about a lot of people here. You do not have enough food to feed 60 or 70 mouths.
Okay.
Right? So what you did was you provided more food than they had, because tonight's stew might have been like a tato in hot water. You know what I mean? You had enough where they actually made soup. It's still thin soup, right? But it's soup nonetheless.
Business then will go to one of the sisters as the night's rounding out and say,
Any of someone you know here good at farming or seeds?
She says, I know quite a few of the sisters who have a green thumb, but nothing grows
Oh.
in this cold.
Well, I have 2 of these now, and
I pull out the strange fruit thing.
She looks at that hesitantly. She says, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that.
me either.
And she actually hesitates to touch it. She does not take it from your hand. And she says, as kind as it is to provide us with a alternative food source, I don't know that I can serve that to the people here. Not
I
until we find out
was-
what it is. What is it? And she looks at you like, you have it, you know.
I don't know. I was given these by 2 people, and I was told that it grows in even the snow, but maybe you could try to grow it.
Huh. She kind of takes it. She takes the one in the pouch because she doesn't have to put her hand directly on it. She says, that's very kind of you, big business. We'll look into the matter. And she kind of bundles it back up and ties it tight before putting it away or setting it to the side. And she says, I do suggest you get some sleep, though.
Yes. Also, I would be a bad businessman if I just gave that to you for free. But you can owe
laughs.
me if you don't have anything.
She laughs and she says, I'll see what I can do about talking to Sister Amos Nishan about gaining access to her store without a confession. I heard that you don't regret your choices.
Not yet, no.
She says, well, I hope you maintain that positive perspective forever, big business. Because much like this fruit, unfortunately, people will give you things that will harm you.
Yes, I know.
She says, sleep tight, big business.
I always do.
I look at my suit.
She actually
Just
kind of
like-
laughs. Yeah, she laughs a little bit. Mason, you get the big plug to the jack on the back of your side. Everybody kind of can snuggle in, and you do, like I said, stay warm for the night. You are not going to get thirstier or hungrier. If you had fatigue, it will come down because you're going to sleep a whole evening here in the warmth of Mechminster Abbey. And does this sound... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that's not going to be a pressing issue for Mason. What does the night look like for Mason as he's just kind of like hooked? Because he doesn't sleep, right?
That's true. You will have to... It is suggested you boot down while you charge because you will charge faster. And she could run a diagnostic. It would be one of the only times you ever shut off. But you can stay awake. It's like putting gas in your car with it turned on. You know what I mean?
Sure. Sure. Then I don't know if Mason's done that in a long time. Man, that feels very vulnerable to go into a place and let someone just like open you up and plug you in and be like, all right, boot down now. But seeing as to the things that have just occurred, I think he will. He'll take an opportunity and allow himself to be vulnerable.
And you know what? Sinister Inquisition probably gives you a very sturdy maternal hand on your steel bulbous body. And she says, "It's okay, Mason. I promise. I'll see you in the morning."
Understood, Sister Amos.
And she kind of pats you. You hear that tink-tink of your body like a hand on the back end of a car. And she powers you off. And she opens you up and she puts the plug in your bits. And you begin to charge throughout the night. And when you all wake in the morning, maybe Mason, you're up first. Because as soon as you're charged, you can boot back up. You see that she's already taken your sling off in the middle of the night. And just like a person in a hospital, this must be what it feels like to wake up under the care of someone. You're better the next day. You feel fully charged. Your eye's not twitching anymore. Your arm has full like ability of movement, and the sling is gone.
I feel incredible. Sister Nation, I feel incredible. It's as if every circuit is buzzing, every servo smooth.
Yes, Mason, I had a feeling you would be up first. It's still sleep time here at the Abbey, so I'm just going to and she kind of pulls the little blanket she has a little tighter over her really big body and rolls over in her bunk. But Mason, you are up. You're kind of on the second floor. She sleeps near the confessional booth.
Trying to move like as progressive as possible, right? Like he doesn't have to battle as much internal psyche as so many other people. Mason is going to like almost gingerly.
I'm going to whisper now.
Oh, Mason, it happens. You whisper.
Oh,
Wow.
With the confessional shadow looming behind you of the idea of maybe merging your personalities, Mason, your voice, in fact, does whisper. She says, "Good job, Mason. Go to sleep."
Yes, Mrs. Nation. I will.
And as maybe you quietly like down the stairs to the first floor, you can see a few people are up. The Reverend Riveter is already up, and she's stoking the forge to begin maybe making something for breakfast and to keep this place warm now that the fire has gone kind of dim into the night. And she smiles as she sees you, and she says, "You are looking right as rain, Mason."
Well, thank you. You are looking incredible yourself. If I may be so bold, I feel almost as if I've shed a century's worth of rust and wear. Consider me a steadfast ally once again.
She says, "I have a lot of allies, Mason. What I lack are friends."
Well, while that may be true, I now feel confident that I can press forward with a bit more vigor, style, and panache.
She says, "You remind me of someone."
I'm all ears, though I lack them.
She's kind of still stoking it, and you're keeping kind of a quiet conversation between the two of you, and she says, "It's somebody that I haven't seen in a very long time."
Please, enlighten me, illuminate the situation. They sound amazing. What has kept you and your fuels burning this long?
Well, the thing about being mortal, Mason, is your purpose changes constantly. That's just the world around you. Our programming can't be fixed or recharged. Unfortunately, we just start anew. For the last decade, this has been my purpose. But it wasn't always.
You led a life before becoming a leader at the Abbey.
I did.
And what was that like?
Well, it was nothing compared to this. She kind of gestures to this and all the people she helps and kind of the grandeur of what it is that they're trying to do here at the Abbey. She says, before that, it was simpler. I imagine that I can talk to you of love, though you yourself have never experienced it.
Oh, you would be correct in assuming so, though I must admit I have some feeling looming deep within my mechanized heart.
She kind of laughs as if that's kind of like, she's not sure if it's a joke or if it's just endearing.
Oh, no, please.
No,
And Mason, like, he'll unbutton the front furl, and he points to like a page inside.
Oh.
Go ahead, take that out. Between you and I.
She looks around as if this is a very personal thing to be doing with all these people sleeping, and she reaches in and kind of pulls it clean and unfolds it, and she looks at it, and it's like showing a nun a pinup piece of art. Like there's almost a
Nice.
plural, like a
Clutch the
pearl
pearls.
clutch moment, which she says, "My goodness, well, I can see why you like her."
She is built different.
That is one way to put it. And she folds it back very gingerly and puts it back and closes the little flap. And she says, I can see what you mean. It's hard not to love a robot of that stature.
Mason puts like his hand on his. You hear that ding as his hand touches his head.
I hope one day to meet a Miss Nuclear. I don't even know what I would do. I feel bereft of words. Emotion. Something that I have longed for a long time.
She says it is unlike anything else. Finding love, that person that sets your flame afire, and she kind of jokes as she continues to stoke the forge and bellow it. She says, but he unfortunately isn't here anymore.
I commiserate, Reverend. I once too led a significantly simpler life. My original programming was to aid in traditional barbering. I was a barber, and now I am a survivor in the wasteland.
She says, well, can't you be both?
I suppose I can.
She says, I know that I am now the Reverend Riveter, but that doesn't make me any less the lover of a Minuteman once. I am that and then some. So maybe you are both a barber and a survivor, Mason.
I rather like that. At some point, do you stop becoming a lover of Minutemen? Do you welcome all Minutemen into your doors?
She said, no, there was just one. He was very special. You remind me of him. Rather dapper gentleman, considering the state of the world. And she kind of looks around, and she says, but that was before. But I do not want you to mourn his death. I'm done with that now. I realize that if it weren't for his death, I wouldn't be doing this. The sisters would never exist. These people would have had nowhere to go. So now we create a safe place, and we support the Minutemen in his honor.
Well, then allow my existence here in this parsonage with you at the moment, compatriot in arms, a boon, a memory of the individual that you once loved. I'm happy to be here in your company.
She laughs. Yes, company is the one thing that the sisters and this abbey have plenty of.
I've noticed. It is a rather nice place.
It is something special as long as we can keep it. But the wasteland has become different. The powers at play are not stronger, but darker.
I disagree, Reverend. I think the wasteland is the same. It's the people that are different now.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that's why all of this is worth it. And she looks around, the fire now really warm and glowing. She says, it's why we did this. Because something has to fight out all that darkness. Light. And she gestures to the forge. That is all we can offer. So here we stay. We keep this forge hot, warm, and full of light.
I admire you for your efforts, your diligence. and I wish to be of use to you on this day, especially if I find myself in the company of Sister Nishan, and may find wares that could benefit my own successes in the world.
She says, I'm sure Sister Amos Nation will have plenty of fun respecking you. And she kind of looks at your body. She says, but I will be honest. We have part of our wall down. And you have strapping gentlemen in your group, last time I checked. We need to rebuild that wall.
Then please, allow me to use myself as an asset to you. I'll wake them immediately. They don't need to sleep that many hours. Particularly big business. He is boisterous, young, strapping and strong. I'll wake him immediately.
Mason, you do my heart good. She kind of pats you, much like Sister Amos Nation did, hand to metal. And she finishes kind of getting the forge going again. And actually, she will begin working some hot metal. You kind of hear that tink-tink as she's clearly working on some new weapons for the group.
Then Mason will kind of putter off to the rest of the group.
Good morning, Wastelander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guess we had an early wake-up call today.
Did you get your beauty sleep?
I could have used another hour or so, but
You're looking incredible. Look at you.
you are in quite good spirits for the morning.
Quite.
Mason.
I feel, well, rather charmingly chaotic. I'm here to present the world with the new, profound, rebuilt, recalibrated. Look at these assets, the great assets.
You know what, Mason? I'm going to give you a perception check here, a perception survival check, but you get an extra die. I'm not going to tell you why until I see if you see it.
Sure.
As you're talking to
So,
Sister Delilah. This will be fun.
what kind of roll would that be?
It is a custom roll. You'll want to use the yellow and blue D20 in the upper left of your sheet. It'll be 2D20.
Yep. Perception, survival.
Perception, survival. Actually, you could put 3D20 because you're going to roll 3.
Okay.
And just skip the, yeah. This will be fun. Let's see.
Let's
Mason
see.
notices. Oh,
I got one success.
Oh, I see. Okay, you got one success. That's enough. Mason, maybe it's the morning sun coming through these old church windows. Maybe it's the glow of the forge. But something about the light in here pings off of brand new baby hairs coming in on Sister Delilah's head. She's always had thin hair. She does worship radiation. But it's been a while since she's basked in Adam's glow. And in doing so, her body is somewhat regenerating itself. She's growing hair again.
But, sister, have
Yes?
you found your way into finasteride? What's happening to you right now?
Into what?
Those little baby
Sorry?
hairs.
He leans in very gingerly with some of like the pincers.
Whoa, whoa.
You have new follicular growth. Your hair is growing in.
I don't feel any different. Should I feel different?
No, you wouldn't feel any different, but it is noticeable.
The eyes kind of like come in real close.
And Sister Delilah, maybe you've never really thought about your hair. That's secondary, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it happens to all children of Adam. You eventually go bald. That is just part of the process. But he seems to think that you're growing some fresh baby hair, some healthy, fresh baby hair.
Well,
You're on your way
that's
to a wonderful mane.
well, usually it's the opposite. Usually this is the point where I would start losing hair and going bald. My
Well,
hair's
I
already
suppose this is-
white, you know. It's not I was born blonde, but now my hair is white as snow.
Then while it is a charming look, I must admit I think that you look much more well in appearance with hair.
What color is that?
It appears to be relatively highlighted blonde.
Oh, good.
Maybe like a dark, dirty blonde. You know, the roots are always a little darker, but yeah, it's going to come in somewhat blonde, Mason.
I think these are even thicker than the other strands.
Interesting.
For
Don't
anybody
worry.
that has ever had chemo or excessive radiation that makes your hair fall out, it does come back thicker, stronger, and different than the first time. Can confirm.
Sometimes earlier.
Yep.
You have nothing to worry about in my camaraderie, and if you'll allow me, I'll keep you in the most current updo, something that'll keep you fancy.
Yeah, it's not quite ready to be cut, Mason, or like shaped. You know, they're fresh baby hairs. You got to let them grow in just a little bit, but you got something to look forward to. It's like the family fern. Sister Delilah's hair. We'll watch it grow together.
Mason, did I grow anything?
I'll tip my bowler hat off and show my bald gray-green head with still three little wisps of...
The 3 remain. There's
Yeah.
nothing new, though. No new growth.
Big business. While you lack the follicular fortitude that Sister Delilah has, you continue to grow more and more handsome every day.
I recognized the word handsome from that.
I'll put the hat back on.
Did he grow anything?
I'll point at Mortimer.
I mean,
Probably.
Based on what we heard yesterday, I think that he has grown a bit more confident, wizened in his age.
Wizened?
Yes, wizened.
Age?
I realize, forgive me, I am the oldest here, and amidst the crew, but still, I'm proud of you, Mortimer. We all admitted a few things, but it's not the time for that. We're needed. Mechminster needs us.
Oh, now what for?
The wall has fallen, and the Reverend Riveter has requested our assistance.
To put the wall back up?
Yes.
Oh.
Sounds good to me.
an all mundane task, but an important one.
A literal wall or a...
An actual wall.
Oh, I can do that.
I'll stand up and go find a wall to rebuild.
Oh.
Well, it won't
Mortimer
be
cracks his
too
knuckles and gets to work.
hard. Yeah, it won't be too hard. Here's what I am going to do. I'm going to actually redraw the wall that we have here because it's actually not exactly correct. I think I'm going to make it a fresh color too, like something that y'all can actually see. Let me do something. Okay, so the blue wall is basically a junk fence. If you don't know what a junk fence is in Fallout, it is often an 8 to 10 foot tall chunk of fencing that is made from junk. Car tires, old pallets, anything that you can find. And they get nailed, stapled, piled together, and pressed into these kind of walls. These go all the way around the Abbey, except for the place over here where the ghouls had broken through. They had basically broke it down. And that's the piece that needs to be fixed. So this is actually, let me show everybody at home what we're looking at. Let's try again, shall we? Let me zoom in a little bit here. Y'all can see kind of the rough piece of this. The only major difference is the steeple shown here when in actuality it's on the front of the church, not the back of the church. But that's okay. Yeah, so you can see that this is the spot. I need a kind of role do I want for this? This is really a repair. I need it is a repair check. The skill you use along with it, like if you want to use strength repair, that's fine. But I need you can use intelligence if you want to tell people where things would best be suited. But yeah, I need everybody that's helping rebuild the fence has to make some kind of repair check. You tell me and remember, you can always choose to you can spend a luck point and use luck instead of one of your aptitudes, right? So you can be like, I want to make a luck repair check. And so your luck number becomes in its place. Oh, this is fun. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do strength.
I'll go for
Complication.
strength repair.
Complication out the bat.
2 successes.
Awesome.
That's pretty good. Mortimer.
I am helping in that, like, I'm doing like the menial assistance. Like, I'm not lifting heavy things, but if they're like, hey, go grab that hammer,
So you can, why don't you support Mortimer's efforts then? You can roll to assist. What I'm going to do is put your, that's the best way for you, I think, to do this, actually, Sister Delilah. We'll say, here's your token right here. Click your token and then in the roll chat, hit Bentham's roll to assist button. So click your token first.
Yes. Why can't I see it? Hold on, I gotta pop out my
Oh, it's
character
because I
sheet.
have it on the map layer. Hang on, let me move it to the token layer. That's my fault. Try that.
Yes, there we go. Okay, and then roll to assist.
See where it says it under the orange button by Bentham's roll?
Yes.
So click
Got
your
it.
token, then click that button. We get
Yes.
one d20, not 2.
Okay.
Yep. And okay, so no help, but you're helping. You're just not actually helping. Okay. So yeah, you all kind of go out there. So Mason, do you want to re-roll the 20 for complication? You want to spend luck and re-roll it? If not, then we'll keep it. Okay. It's a pretty fast process. Mortimer and Big Business seem to be most of the muscle. Mortimer, you have spent your fair share of cut time, whether stateside or not, building fortifications meant to keep things out. That is just a basic survival instinct, and you're real good at it. You know exactly where something needs to be propped. You know how to put this thing here, make sure the tire's on the outside so it catches the bullets, all the things. And because you do that, Sister Delilah picks up the occasional hammer. You are able to piece it back together. Mason, you're helping kind of, but again, you lack dexterity. There's only so much that you can do. So I imagine the new fresh arm maybe holds something in place while a nail goes in over here by Mortimer and those kinds of things. And as this like last piece of a board is getting put in from an old pallet to block off the last hole of this junk wall, you see it off in the distance. If you're looking at the upper image of the church, where you can kind of see the waterfront and all the buildings, way off in the distance, like over here, you see the flashing of like guns going off, and you can hear it off like in the distance, actually near where, well, Mortimer, you wouldn't know it till it's pointed out to you, so Mortimer would only know that, but yeah, you see conflict happening off in the distance.
I imagine Mason's probably like in the midst of lifting something, and then his attention is averted, and he just drops everything that he's doing.
Yeah, the board
Someone's
falls
relying on him.
right as you go to put the nail in the board, Mortimer, and it falls to the ground, and one of the oculars kind of peeps through what's left of the wall that's unbuilt.
Mortimer, there's a firefight outside.
Oh, I like
Ghouls.
start peering.
When he points it out, you two see it. It's kind of hard with more daylight, but like I said, way off in the distance. And in fact, it seems to be coming from the kind of, I guess, the industrial plant or whatever the facility was that Sister Geiger had said the part she's been looking for where the super mutants are.
There's a peak of muzzle flash. Another, I can see it.
We might as well go check that out. Sister Geiger said there was some material in that building she needed, but it was guarded by super mutants. If they're distracted with a fight, we might be able to
Maybe
sneak
an
in and snag some.
The super mutants, you said?
Yes. I don't know if it's the kind that talk, though. The kind that are interested in business. Maybe more the kind that are interested in killing.
Yeah.
Big Business will sort of like scratch his head.
Yeah, why don't you go check it out and see if what their deal is.
Mortimer, you think about taking on a bunch of super mutants by yourself, which is basically a death sentence.
Yeah, not doing that, but I could sneak up and take a peek at what's going on.
That's what I meant.
So you actually kind of scutter Mortimer out of the like last of the hole in this junk fence, and you can see everybody's like heads around the hole as they watch you go. Does anybody want to go with Mortimer to scout ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to.
Okay, anybody that wants to go will probably want to roll a stealth check.
You got it.
I think Big Business is going to stay behind the new junk fence he repaired.
Yeah. We see your head
Like
kind
a
of through
kid,
the hole.
a kid looking past
Oh,
the schoolyard
Mason.
fence.
Can I
Oh, Mason.
can I luck that or anything else?
You can luck
Oof.
the 20. Yep, you can re-roll that 20. So regardless if it's a success or not, at least you won't get the complication.
All right, so this will be my first time luck rerolling since I just take every complication. So where am I clicking?
You have a few options. You can roll a custom roll and just use 1d20. Right? So go up there like you're going to build it, rebuild, sneak, agility, custom roll 1d20. No additionals. The other option is to just use the quick die roll, which is off on the left. That gives you the little table and you can just hit 1d20. You'll want to take your luck down. So, it'll have the like fraction. So you're now less 1 than the bottom number.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
you got a success out of it, so it was
Let's
worth
go.
the luck. Okay, so one
Yeah.
success. Mortimer, your sneak agility, you two got one success. The good news is that's all you needed because they are currently distracted, and the closer you get, the more you can hear the sounds. And it is definitely super mutant. You can hear that grunt. I will rip you apart. I'll turn your bones into jelly. Like they're like yelling at whatever they're fighting. As you get close, and the both of you kind of maybe peer around like an old frozen car or something, you can see, in fact, an old factory of some kind. It's a industrial style building near kind of the more city-centered area of this kind of suburbia of Boston, or what's left of it. And there are like super mutants fighting more of these feral ghouls, these frost ferals. You can see them just barely in the ice. They camouflage so well, and there's like 6 or 7 of them, and there are about 3 super mutants. One of them, actually, you know what? Fuck it, y'all witness it. These 2 or 3 ghouls jump this super mutant and take it to the ground and begin just like ripping and tearing and shredding. And as it does, you can see the skin, the pieces where they touch, kind of goes to almost like cold damage, like rotting ice flesh, right? Yeah, and the other ones are like, shoot him, and they're like, and there's a firefight going on. Some of the ghouls go down, but they are in the middle of like a combat.
Should we let him fight it out?
I think so.
I think
The victor go the spoils.
Mason waits.
Oh, you're just gonna let it play out? Okay.
I mean, I'll like. Does it seem like all the super mutants in the building are in this fight and therefore not in the building?
Yeah. So there's a couple things that you note about. That's a good question. There's a couple things you just note very quick about the building. It is a multi-storied building, like the main factory piece, but there seems to be almost like a front piece to the building that was probably like office space or a lobby or something, right? You don't walk straight into the factory. That's what they seem to have like boarded up with their flesh sacks hanging from the ceiling and stuff like that. The factory itself has no windows, and you are unsure if they are even hole up in the factory or just the front piece of this. You do not see any more super mutants. You only see the 3, and one of them is now dead. 3 super mutants can still be a lot for a community like Mechminster Abbey. And we're probably down to about 4 ghouls at this point. So it's a 2-on-4 battle. If you let him play it out, I'll do some quick rolls and we'll see how it goes here.
I'm just thinking if there's like a way I could sneak in, but I imagine they've got everything boarded but the entrance that they're guarding. So I don't know if there is going to be a way in.
Correct.
That isn't at least noisy.
Mortimer,
I'm gonna
what does
wait.
your minute mind tell you?
Okay. Super mutants roll, not great. The ghouls roll. Oh, one of them rolled critical. Yeah,
Whoa.
so you see more shots go off. Another ghoul goes down. But one of them comes, you can see it kind of crawled up the building, and it drops down off the roof of the building onto the top of one of these super mutants and just latches on. And the super mutant's like, pew, pew, shots are going off in the air, and he hits the ground. And you can see this other super mutant, you think she is female identifying because of the tonality in her voice and maybe the clothes that she wears. But she goes, you bastards, blah, 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 blah. And she's got a heavier kind of gun, and she starts kind of mowing all of these things down. There's a possibility she may not win this fight.
Is this our opportunity, or do we wait still? The math is there, Mortimer. They're going to win.
Wait, the mutants or the ghouls?
The ghouls, they're winning.
I'd rather fight a couple ghouls than a super mutant.
Then
We're
this might be hard for big business to take.
If we weren't here, this would have happened anyway.
Very true. Then I reiterate.
Whichever side we join, they would just as likely kill us as thank us.
Yeah, they would eat you. I would become an ornament. Something to decorate on the mantle. happen, though. No worries.
She's still screaming as y'all are having this conversation. She doesn't roll great. Oh, no.
Oh.
One of them jumps and she blah, 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 and just saws it in half with this, like, heavy kind of machine gun that she's got. But it's not enough to keep them off of her, and she kind of bashes one to the side with her gun, but one of them lands right on top of her and knocks her prone, and she's kind of, like, fighting it with the gun between her and it. And they're on the snowy ground, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'll eat your fucking face!
She's lively.
She is lively.
Would Big Business and Sister Delilah be able to have a conversation while they're off?
Oh yeah, they disappeared to the snow. The battle keeps going, and the two of you are still at the fence, like waiting to hear back on the scouting party.
Big Business will kind of put the finishing touches on the fence, and one of the pieces of junk, as he shifts it over, he like bends down, turns around.
I found another hammer for you.
Just give Sister Delilah another hammer.
Thank you.
You have one in each hand as you're standing on the other side of this fence.
You missed a spot there, and she just like fixes the piece of junk, like hits it with the hammer and like puts it into place.
That's why you're here.
They've been gone a while.
Yeah, kind of look. Big Business he's like turned away from the fight. It's almost like he's trying to distract himself from thinking about it. And he says,
so have you thought more about the Adam thing?
A little bit. I didn't have the best sleep last night because I was quite restless about it.
Mm.
I feel like I need more answers, but I don't know if I'm going to get those answers. So I am just going to have to make a decision at some point.
Mm.
It's not, the uncertainty of it all is not great.
Everyone was talking about confessions yesterday.
Yes.
I thought of something now that this is where we are, and when I met your group, I liked the idea of the children of Adam because you seemed so friendly, and I think you are still friendly. I don't want you to think that I don't think that you're friendly. But then Mason was talking about the things and what happened with Muse, and I do have to say that's pretty bad, what happened to her.
Yes.
So I was sort of mad at Mason because I was thinking he was making a problem when there was no problem. But then I realized now the problem was from before with the Adam guy, and he had just noticed it. Anyway, maybe you will get your answers if you find this guy and ask him why he did what he did.
That would be the goal, yes. If there was a way I could find him and talk to him. But I think a lot of people want to find him and talk to him right now. So I might have some competition with that. But I also don't know if it's going to be as simple as talking, but we'll see.
How long you were born as a child?
Yes, essentially, I was born in my family, and all of the people around me were children of Adam. So I also was a child of Adam in turn. So this is all I know.
Is it important to be nice to you?
That is,
The, the, is that a you thing or a child of Adam thing?
it should really be an everyone thing, but I guess it's not always in the wasteland. I think I don't know. I think everybody that I've met who are children of Adam have been nice, but maybe it's only because they want something. You know what, big business, this is a lot of questions and a lot of things that I don't, you're making me think too much. I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know what that's like. I'll stop. I just knew
Oh, you muted Don.
I imagine you're still just hammering in boards unnecessarily.
I say
Yes.
to finish, I think Big Business says,
I won't ask so much. I don't want to hurt your brain. It happens.
It's all right. It's good to ask these questions, but yes, maybe not all at once.
Well, I don't know what it means to be a child of Adam in the same way you do, but I like your version. I don't like this other guy's version. So keep that.
Thank you, big business. That means a lot.
I'll have to charge you for these questions.
And the camera cuts back to the two of you watching. She's still on the ground. She gets a final roll. Oops, it should have been another 20. Okay, that's not horrible. Oh, the ghoul did better. And the ghoul brings up, it's kind of biting her gun at this point, like with its gnarled icicle teeth, and it brings a hand up and slices it across her face. And you hear her like, "Ah!" As she screams out, it rips flesh.
Mason and Mortimer just sharing a bucket of popcorn right
Yeah,
now.
it's like, I don't know, wait, I guess we'll play out. What are you two going to do anything? Now's your chance if you want to save her.
Well, like, so this is where we hit my limitations as a not Fallout player.
Yeah, sure,
like,
sure.
Are 99.9% of super mutants gonna kill you on sight, or
That is true, though super mutants, I like to think that super mutants follow a lot of the code of like Vikings, right? Where like combat, saving someone's life holds a different kind of merit. Are they going to be nice to you? No. Will they kill you if you save them? Probably not, right? Like it's death and killing and violence is a part of who they are. Most of that comes from being extremely hungry all the time, so they might eat you. But if you save her, there could be an either or. One of them is going to survive. Either this glowing, horrible icicle frost feral or this super mutant. I will tell you this above table, if this were a video game, this super mutant would be named.
Yeah. Wait, are there still two super mutants, or is she the last?
She's the last one.
It's one. It's one now.
Down to one.
Yeah,
It's one super mutant and one ghoul, right?
Let's just say she's a named NPC.
Mortimer, what are the odds
That's
that
a toughie.
you could calculate and levy a shot directly into the back of the ghoul's head?
I think Mortimer's already lining up the shot.
Okay,
Nice.
take
He's
the
like
shot.
he's watching this and he's like, there's a part of him that's like, let it happen,
Yeah.
let nature take its course, and then get what's left. And then there's a part of him that's like, oh fuck, no, I'm gonna kill this ghoul.
There are 4 action points. Do not forget.
Yeah,
You need one success
This
to
is the
hit
time
the
to use them.
ghoul. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll go down to 3, everybody.
I believe in you.
One additional die.
1 additional die. Let's see how you do. Hey, 2 successes.
2 successes. Nice.
Would you like to rebank your action point, your extra, or do you want to make it extra damage?
Let's do extra damage.
Okay, so roll your damage first. So see the blue button that says roll damage? Hit that. Roll up your damage. If that doesn't work, it should work. It should. Yeah. Okay, so 4, and that would add an additional 1, so 5 physical damage. That's enough to blow its head clean off. And you see, unlike usual where a ghoul's head is kind of soft, and likes to explode everywhere. You see this one shatter. It's like it's frozen and its head kind of shatters into these pieces as you hear the super mutant go, oh, the fuck. And she kind of tosses this thing to the side. And she gets up and you can see she has these frozen cauterized wounds on her face, these big black 3 fingers that scraped through, and she might have even had damage to one eye. She kind of gets up, her barrel's all crunched from the mouth of the ghoul, and she kind of looks around like, where the fuck did that shot come from? And then she runs over.
I'll stand up, lowering the gun.
And she points a broken gun at you because it's all she has, and you can see she steps in front of the bodies of the 2 of her other super mutant friends that are probably now dead, and she says, "Get out of here! You don't belong here!"
No,
I'm not gonna fight you.
We were here to help. We saw the ghouls. He took the shot.
Well, I don't need help. I Thrash. I survive.
You're definitely wounded.
No, she touches her face. Maybe I fix it with your blood. I mean, your blood. And he goes from pointing to Mason to Mortimer.
I don't bleed, and I can help if you will let me.
Oh, you can roll a speech check. You can roll for that.
Sure.
Oh
Okay.
my god. This is now making me think, what's the Borderlands DLC where the character runs D&D in universe?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Tiny Tina.
Yeah.
Can I use an action point for this?
I'm sorry.
Roll a speech
Can I use an
check.
action point for this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
So we didn't go back up, so we go down to 2 now as the group. Any extra successes that you...
Ugh.
Oh,
no.
dear.
She goes, I no need help. I Thrash. Thrash. Handle self.
Thrash, I'm Mason, and this is Mortimer, and we mean no harm.
Well, then move along. Get out of here.
We were...
Very cold.
I'm not cold. I warm myself with fire. And she points to a very small kind of barrel fire they have.
We were looking for something. Maybe we can do a trade.
You look for bullets. If you don't leave now, Mortimer too can roll speech check.
I'm terrible at speech. This isn't gonna work.
We never know.
You never know.
I'm
You
just
could
gonna roll.
get
We're just
lucky.
gonna go for it.
Yeah.
No.
You two look tasty. Mmm.
Would it be okay if we stepped a little closer?
No! Too close in territory. Get out.
What are you going to do with your friends?
She looks at one and then the other. I do what we do with our super mutant bodies.
I'm not a super mutant. Maybe you could inform
I
me.
eat them.
Oh, I thought they would bury them. I thought you might bury them.
Why we waste body and meat?
I don't know. I don't eat.
This is an acceptable answer, but no! You still must go.
Is this how you treat the people that save your life?
Oos, you did save my life. Fine! What do you look for?
We
I'm gonna
look
pull
for
out the. I pull out the piece of paper that the sister guy gave me with the pictures of the gold.
There's
disc
no
ball things.
paper here.
No, they looks like these.
It's on the paper. Thrash?
The
What is?
gold disc things.
Let
Shiny.
me take it. She can't eat me. She might punch me, but she can't eat me. I'll bring it over so that you can see. I promise. And I like...
She kind of lifts the gun, which isn't gonna fire. And she says, "You don't know that. Not smart.
I'm not smart. This is why you're the smart. When we bring you
Why this here? Why you look for this here?
We've been looking everywhere. This is a place we haven't looked yet.
You get 30 minutes. I don't know how I tell time, but I do.
We will take Every minute, quickly.
Go! But good luck with door.
Thank you. Let's go, Mortimer. Now.
I head in.
She starts moving bodies to do whatever she does with them. The camera cuts back to the junk fence. They've been gone a while, and the firing in the distance has stopped.
Should we check on them? It's been a while. Look, maybe I'll go take a look.
Okay.
You stay here at the fence. Oh boy.
Sister Delilah, are you moving with any level of stealth?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Okay. Let's do that.
As you sneak up, you are trying to be stealthy, but what you see are it's hard when you're stepping over the bodies of frost ferals. And you can see one super mutant is moving the bodies of two dead super mutants off to the side, out front of this kind of industrial style building. And Mason and Big Business are nowhere to be found, though you very clearly Mortimer, very clearly see the fire path cut through the snow where Mason has gone into the building.
Right. Okay. So they've gone
Who there?
in.
I hear someone.
Oh shit.
I know you're there. Come out with hands raised in air.
Oh shit. Sister Delilah will walk forward with hands raised.
What are you doing here? Why everybody come today?
Was just checking on
No
my
checking, you leaving.
Okay. Goodbye.
Take your robot with you.
Oh, good. Okay, you all are safe. Okay, yes. We were just leaving. Right?
Who you yelling at, me?
Yeah,
you're leaving. Go! And she's holding up kind of a gnarled gun. You can see the wounds on her face. She's been in combat.
Have you seen an individual?
I see many.
You know what? I'm not going to.
You get out of here. Run.
Delilah will turn around and go around the building.
You go all around the building. The camera cuts back.
Yes.
Big Business, you're sitting in the snow at this junk fence. It's been 10 minutes since Delilah left, give or take some. Because it's kind of ways down the road. You have to travel down the road to it. And it's been much longer since Mason and Mortimer. And every time somebody leaves, they don't come back.
Big Business is staring into space in the general direction of this area and thinking back on memories of being among other super mutants where he was brought up, I suppose.
The
Violence
harsh reality of that life.
Dismemberment and cannibalism and abuse and unintelligence.
Yeah.
And as it flashes before him, he then thinks of his new business associates, and he sighs to himself and says, and he will walk. He'll hold his briefcase close to himself, and he will speed walk towards where they went.
You follow tiny footprints through the snow and the kind of burned out trail from Mason there. And what you see is a female super mutant. You are able to identify that she is female, and she's finishing moving the second body of another super mutant. She's not mutilating them. She's kind of stacking them to the side. And she's now beginning to move the ghouls into a stack. Maybe she's going to burn them. You don't know, but she's moving all these ghoul bodies out of the snow.
He'll look around and he'll yell at her, trying to be brave, and he'll say,
"Hey, what you do with my friends?"
She turns and looks at you standing in the snow, and she says, "I do nothing. I have no friends."
My friends, not yours.
You have friends?
Yes. They just came here. You killed them?
You friend with robot?
Yes.
Skinny woman, little hair?
Yes.
And meaty man with the beard?
Not so meaty, but yes.
They meaty enough.
And she kind of stops and she squints a little bit as you've got some distance between you. She says,
You dress funny. Kind of
You-
cute.
What?
Cute. You dress like human. It's strange, but gives me warm belly.
Warm belly, not for eating.
No, I eat you different. I mean, would you like to eat my friends with me?
I looked at the super mutants.
I was going to make feast. Have to do it myself, but now I share with man in fancy suit. You come
Well,
eat with me, not optional.
You mentioned these people. Where are they?
They went inside. Stupid, try to fix doors, stupid. Tiny woman with little hair, go bye-bye. I scare her. I, Thrash. You, cute, sit.
Big Business will scratch his head and
I will help you, then you take me to my friends.
Oh, you sit first.
Fine.
How you get it around your neck?
she points to the strange tie that you wear.
My arms do not go that high.
It's probably so short because his neck is so big. And he says,
Doesn't matter. What are you doing?
I cook my friends.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'll help her, gather the ghouls and her friends and so on. Is she preparing to make like a bonfire or something?
She is clearly going to burn the ghoul bodies. She is. We'll just say, Big Business, you're pretty akin to what it takes to prepare to cook a super mutant.
Yeah, I've probably
right?
done it before.
You've done it before.
Yeah.
It's not like she's going straight into it, right? She's going to have to
Okay.
take all the stuff off of the bodies. There's too much meat for her to eat alone, so she'll probably only prep one. Like, there's like little things, and she's like sharpening her knife.
Okay.
And
I think
Yeah.
business will help with anything but the skinning and the preparation of the super mutants.
She said, why your friends look for paper? Stupid.
I saw one of them mention a thing we need for ladies at church.
Oh, I want to eat ladies.
They are nice. You should not eat them. That is what I always try to tell people.
you mean they-
People are nice.
So
you don't need to eat them.
They taste nice.
No, I don't know. I never taste them before, but it doesn't matter.
So how you know they're nice to eat?
They are nice in talking.
You are nice in talking.
Right. So if you, like me, think I am cute, you like them, think they are cute without eating.
I don't think they're cute. They lack strange tie around neck and...
No. If they have tie, they cute.
she stops
They
and thinks.
they have something. They have wrench.
That's not cute.
No. You don't eat them. If you think I am cute and you listen to me, you do not fight them, you do not eat them.
Is
They do
this
not fight
request
you.
because you like Thrash? You asked Thrash not to eat ladies because you like Thrash?
Are you
I point at the super mutant bodies.
Are you alone now?
This jug
Or
tug, they dead.
any more?
That's just us.
What, you live alone now, or are you going to move?
Oh no, I'm not alone now. I have you.
Okay. If I am big, is my name.
Yes, you big. I like big.
If I say I like you, you become friends with church
I become
ladies.
friends with you.
We would be friends if you be nice to them.
I'd do anything to be friends with you.
So you be nice to them.
I'd be nice to them for you.
Okay.
Okay. I Thrash. You big?
Big Thrash.
Big.
And I'll just sort of sit next to her awkwardly as she prepares the corpses and
Sister
not
Delilah,
make any conversation.
you have witnessed this whole interaction from around the back side of this building. You were going around and you heard him walk up. And before you got around, you were able to witness the entirety of the conversation. They're now sitting there and she's like sharpening her knife on a whetstone, getting ready to basically fillet her friends up for dinner. So the emotes in chat are killing me. There you have it. Sister Delilah, what do you do? And then we're going to cut back to Dear Mason and Mornor. Actually,
Yes.
better yet, why don't we take a break? As the fire just starts to get hot, and Thrash is going to cook her friends in the company of her new friend, Big Business. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back, everybody.
How wonderful.
How wonderful on a ship moment. Yes, this is the greatest ship I've ever seen. Let's hope it doesn't sink, everybody. We'll be right back after this break. everybody, and welcome back to Fallout Winter of Adam, episode 6. We've had a break, and I'm just gonna jump right back in. So, Sister Delilah, you have witnessed a very strange mating ritual between Big Business and Thrash. Big Business, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you ever had a super mutant crush before. Maybe before all of the scratches on her face, she might have been super mutant attractive, within the spectrum. But she's like half of her lip is sliced open and she's, talking to you and drooling. So she seems to care less about it, but
He offers her one of the stim packs that he has and says,
For me?
Your face messed up.
You do it.
And she kind of gives you her left haunch.
Not there on your face.
My arms don't reach.
Your face?
You're gonna stab my face? This is Moneymaker.
oh. Do stim packs, I don't know how they work. Do they have to,
you can
do they
inject
heal
them
anything?
They heal
does
a
it have to
certain
be in the
amount.
area?
They heal a certain amount, and it's an injection, so you can put it anywhere in the body.
And it will heal anywhere in the body, no matter where it's...
Yeah, it heals like a blatant amount of HP. So certain things, like as long as if it heals them all the way, it heals everything, right?
Okay,
But yes,
got
it
it.
is an
All right.
all-over body stimulant. It's like a health potion.
I'll say... he won't say a thing. He's just gonna...
Just right there. It
yeah,
hurts,
he's not gonna
but-
say a word.
Okay, stab me.
He's gonna...
Oh,
Yep.
ow! That's hard.
That's how it works.
You stab hard. You're so
That's
strong.
how I work.
So strong. So,
And you can see she does heal up. I believe a stim pack does a certain amount. Let me double check that.
Yeah, I'll race you.
Yeah, let's see who finds it first. There we go, stim pack equipment.
Heals 4 HP.
Okay, yeah, so it doesn't she's gonna be scarred, right? The scar will always be there, but the gapingness of it, where usually stitches would have been required to heal a body, it kind of the meat heals back up, her lip heals up a little bit, but now everything pulls at the direction in which the scratch was a little bit with the scarring. But
she says, see? I so pretty. And she kind of smiles, missing pieces of her teeth, and she says, thank you for help. I like being friends.
Yes,
You're so much
is-
nicer than Jug and Tug.
I get that a lot.
I think they're
Yes.
friends with each other.
Well, they dead now, so...
That's sad. No more friends.
Has she started eating? Or
no, she's still she's making excuses to talk to you. Now, Sister Delilah, do you do anything while they are...
I really just want to find Mortimer and Mason. So
we'll say you give up on this ridiculous conversation and you kind of scout
Yes.
around the building. What you find is this is a really solid warehouse. Whatever they were making here, they didn't want people looking in on. There's no windows anywhere on the back side of the building. As you come around, it leads you all the way square around back to the front. It seems
Okay.
there is only one entrance into this place. She is
Look,
distracted. If
I was
you
gonna
wanted to roll
say-
again, I'd absolutely give you a chance.
I was
going
gonna
to
say they're quite entrenched in each other,
Yeah,
and
she is distracted.
so
Actually, you know what? It would only be you only needed one anyway. So with her distracted and all eyes on Big Business, I would say you don't even have to roll. If it's
Okay.
at 0 difficulty, there's no roll needed. So you kind of use this as your opportunity to crunch, 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 and you quietly open up the door. Inside, Mason and Mortimer, here's what you find. You find the lobby of a warehouse where there's very clearly kind of a sitting area and some offices. There's a main kind of probably what was a secretarial desk to the left. It does have a terminal computer at it. On the far end of the room as you walk in across from the door is another more industrial sized door that seems to have a computer attached to it. So it's a terminal based security system, which is why the super mutants couldn't get in. They're not smart enough to be like, here, let me hack this terminal. So that they were camped out in here, and all over this place is visceral things, these flesh sacks hanging from the ceiling, piles of bone where they have flayed things and eaten them. This place smells like death. And it contrasts the lobby of this place, which is decorated like the holidays. Mason, Mortimer wouldn't know this, but Mason, you do, like old Christmas, if you would. It was a toy making company for a very specific toy that if you're a Fallout fan, you know very, very well. Jolly is his name, Jolly the Chimp. He's one of those chimp toys that has the symbols that clack together like this. And you can see he's got like a billboard up for Jolly the Chimp, and he's dressed in his holiday attire here in the lobby, but it's all ramshackled, and the paint is dingy, and the cold has iced things over. But yeah, you're standing in the lobby of a toy making company.
So the item we're looking for is the symbols. Perfect.
Yep, that's exactly correct. For those of you that don't know the clapping cymbal monkey known as Jolly Chimp, I guess I can put it in the Discord, but for now, I will put it here for my crew. My chest. That's what he looks like.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Mortimer,
So
you would
creepy.
recognize him specifically because these monkeys tend to get repurposed by raiders and other people to go off as like in a security system. You've never seen them used for anything but wiring a battery to them, and it's a trip sensor. So they'll make noise unexpectedly. So they look they don't look like a normal security system. In fact, when they are activated, they look a lot scarier. Let's see if I can copy this picture to you. This is so much scarier. This is what they look like when they're activated to be a security alarm system. Now that's the repurposing in the modern age of Fallout. Mason, these were popular toys for kids before the bombs dropped.
These were wildly popular for children of a variety of ages. Everyone loved Jolly, so far as I can remember.
Oh, that's what they were for.
Yes, it was a popular toy to be bought at Christmas, and you can tell they were prepared. Look at the seasonal effects that they've applied to this place.
Do you think you could get that door open? Because I don't fancy my chances.
Well, I could try.
You can head over to the terminal if you'd like. As you scroll up, Mason, are you going to try to hack it? The terminal itself, like you want to do like a... Because I believe that is a repair.
I'll try whatever
it's a
means.
repair. It's a repair check.
Yeah,
to hack the code.
I'll try whatever means I possibly can here. So I'm actually pretty decent at repair, so that's not bad for me. I'll go for it. Doesn't matter though if I can't. I'm rolling like this is D&D, man.
Oh.
Oof.
Okay, well, you go over and you kind of like, we hear the taking of Mason's clacking on the keys. Mason, there is high security on this door, considering the fact that it is just a toy factory.
This is bizarre, Mortimer. I can't seem to find my way through. No dice on this one. But it's odd for a toy store, a manufacturing factory. It's bizarrely secured.
About this
Weird.
time, the door creaks open. You hear it. Maybe you're concerned that you've outstayed your welcome, Mortimer, and as you turn, you see Sister Delilah sneak in the door. Big Business is nowhere behind her.
Ah, there you two are.
Delilah!
You were taking forever, and Big Business and I were worried.
We're collecting the Jolly the Chimps. We're finding as many as we can.
Ah, I see.
And I have found something, a bit of a conundrum. This door. It's locked, hidden behind something of great import and value.
Should we try to get through the door then?
Of course, that's what I was trying to do, but I must admit my repair skill is particularly for my sort of being, not for breaking into these, if only it were nightfall.
Yes, well, not quite my specialty either. I assume I know that the two of you encountered the lovely super mutant at the door.
Yeah,
Ah, yes,
She didn't-
Thrash.
she didn't try and
Thrash.
kill us much, so I'll take that
Yes.
as a win.
Well, it seems she's rather preoccupied with big business at the moment.
Oh,
The two of them seem to have hit it off.
well, that's good for us. Gives us more time to try and get through this damn door.
Yes, it looks like
Small
she's
movements.
distracted, so we should move.
Dot, is there any other sort of mechanism to this that becomes like a mechanical aspect, something that I might be able to use, like
don't-
traditional larceny?
Larceny.
I have a.
I
no.
can let you make a lockpick perception check to tell you more about this door, and if there's another way in beyond like hacking it. You're also welcome to roll a survival endurance, which is a general like search of this space to see if you find something.
Okay, I'll start with the survival endurance then. Not that I'm having much in the way of expectations. It's not particularly great for me.
You're welcome to still roll that lockpick perception.
Yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Hey,
Oh,
That's good.
better. Mason, you know that this kind of door would also have a key card. If it's still running, like this terminal's running, if it's running on backup power, there may be a key card around here somewhere. The super mutants wouldn't have been smart enough to know that, but you don't have to hack the terminal if you can find the security card.
I believe it's reasonable to believe that there is an alternate access method, perhaps a card for entry. Perhaps there was a security guard on staff at the time, may have deceased or passed away. But if we seek an entry card, something for security purposes.
Mortimer, Sister Delilah, you can start searching around. The same
Yep.
survival endurance check for
Yep.
a search. Remember, we're sitting at 2 action points. Hey, a critical
Ooh.
success, Sister Delilah.
oh no.
Okay, well, I will give you a couple things. So, Sister Delilah, would you like to bank one of those back to AP?
Yeah, you know what? Let's
Okay.
do that.
All right, cool. Not a problem. Mortimer, would you like to re-roll your complication?
So it spends a luck point to do that. They don't come back except in
Not very frequently. We have to hit a major story beat before they return.
I'll spend the luck point. I don't want to. I don't
Okay.
want to throw a spanner in the works that could interrupt the beautiful romance happening outside.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Re-roll that D20.
Endurance, survival, bloop.
Hey!
It turns into a success.
It turned into a success. So 2 successes for Mortimer. All right. Here's what I will say. I'm going to give you each something different. You all begin searching around, and if you can manage to get past the filth of the super mutants that were living in this lobby, what you find is there are a few skeletons, like fleshless, no blood, like skeletons, frozen over that were probably here before the bombs dropped. And Mortimer, you are lucky enough to find one wearing like an old factory jacket or like jumpsuit, and his key card is still in it. And you are able to kind of slide it out and find it. Sister Delilah, as you're searching around, looking for a key card or anything to help you in the door, you find something very different. You walk around a large stack of probably like bone and flesh and old gross toss away, and underneath it is something you may never have seen before. It's a flat wooden bed that sits on these sleds. It seems to be, for all of you at home, a promotional holiday sled for this chimp, but it's a Christmas sled. It's
sized for the chimp or actual
sized big so like kids could take pictures on it. Like if
Okay.
you were in the lobby, it was meant to be like a climb on the Santa sled kind of a thing. Now it's covered in viscera, but you could rescue the sled.
Oh, this is interesting. This could prove useful for perhaps transporting us around. Look at this. And I point to like this big sled.
Could be useful for big
Transporting
business
good. Yeah. Yes.
And I found the key.
actually.
And Mason,
Oh.
you know that sleds were used by kids pre-bomb drop to travel in the snow a whole lot easier than like Brahmin pulling wheels and stuff.
This will change everything.
And as Mortimer slides the key out, this old dingy key does, in fact, it slots right in the door. And you hear heavy magnetic locks slide as the door open. And inside is a dark factory. It is all running on backup power right now. And all you see are the couple caution yellow lights around. This space is massive. And the multi-tier of the building is straight up to the ceiling. So it's high ceilings, like 30 or 40 feet. Think like can put crane in here, lift big boxes, like industrial warehouse. I'm going to take us over to a new map. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. I'm going to take everybody here over to map 2.
I believe we're going to need more than 30 minutes.
It is a rather large space, and you're actually entering down from this door here. In front of you can see like lots of machinery, but with the lights this dim, it's very, very, very hard to see. You can see the conveyor belt, as well as a catwalk. That grating there is actually like a second-story catwalk, right? That would probably help with the cranes and such. Lots of doors, and everything at the far back of the room, which would be the north of the map, is all in darkness. You can't really see it. But you can see boxes of the pieces and parts of this chimp, Jolly Chimp. Though currently, at first glance, you don't see any of the symbols. You do see a lot of skeletons in here. This place probably hasn't been open since the bomb dropped. And all of the workers for this factory are like laid out on the floor. Just skeletons and jumpsuits and coveralls. Hard hats laid out.
Do any of them appear to be guards? If this is like a guarded, like giant steel door thing, is there anything that like would look like a guard?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Mason, you kind of look around and you do. You see something. In fact, just here by this front door, there were 2 guards. You imagine they were in a different kind of outfit. The skeletons are like, laid out, but they each had guns. And the way that they're positioned makes you think they might have been protecting something from getting out, not things getting in. Why are they on the inside?
Mortimer, this is another conundrum. It's one after another. It's falling like dominoes. I believe that those 2 gentlemen right there were once guards of this facility. They might even have a sidearm or 2 on them. Might be of assistance.
Mortimer, now that he says that, you look at another skeleton and you see this factory worker with these coveralls on that has a pretty clean crack bullet hole straight through the skull. You can see it because there's no flesh. It's just a hole, and like they shot this man.
I think they may have been preventing something from escaping as opposed to the other way around.
Sister Delilah, you see the same thing as they're talking this through.
I like turn back around and from that and I'm like scanning the room like, I don't like this.
Let's look at the workers. Is there like a clear and present sign of death on them or damage to their coveralls or anything like that?
That's interesting. 1 or 2 of them are extremely bloody, as if they went through a lot of blunt force trauma. Maybe 2 of them, or maybe their bones are mangled, as if they were in combat with each other. They went down together, like fighting each other. A lot of these other people were shot by security officers.
I think we advance with trepidation.
Yes, that's probably best.
Weapons ready.
Oh, great.
As you creep forward into the darkness, the camera cuts outside. The fire is now no longer small, but hot burning charcoal over a nice big warm fire. And she tests her knife. She seems pleased with how sharp it is. And she turns to you and she goes, "I'm very good knife sharper. Are you impressed?"
Yes.
I impressed by your box with handle.
This is a briefcase.
You name your weapon too? This Thrasher
came-
Jr.
And she holds up this like shank she's made.
And she says, that is briefcase. Strange name.
Well, I point at the only 2 readable letters in whatever old company logo was scratched off of the briefcase long ago.
I know read.
That says Big Business. That is my name.
Oh, I like you carved name into weapon.
Sure.
Oh. And she kind of starts trying to scratch away at the handle, the bone handle of this shank, as she begins to try to carve, though she doesn't know how to read. And she just marks a couple of things, and she says, "Look, Thrasher Jr."
Oh, that's good.
I do too.
Thrash, could we...
Yes.
Could I check on my
can
friends?
No, you can stay. Well, your friends. I'm your friend.
Right. We are all friends. And
I don't.
I haven't seen them. We could go inside.
I did not kill them. Promise.
Together. I believe you.
You want to go inside? Why?
To see them and make sure they are okay. You said door.
I have feelings. They make me not like you spending time with others.
Right. Well, what about
But if
you
we
and
go
I
together...
spending time together with others, yes?
Yeah, I don't compromise well, but I do it for you.
I like you more because of this.
You like me more because I go with you. Come.
And she kind of janks you by the scrub. She says, "You first.
Open door for lady."
Okay.
And I will proceed inside and see the
as you
viscera-covered log.
Yeah, as you creak the door open, this is, you know, everybody says there's your home, the place you grew up, there's a smell. And nothing in the whole world smells like home. This smells like home. This smells like a super mutant lair.
Yeah.
It's almost overwhelming, the sense of nostalgia, good or bad, that rushes over you. And she looks very proud. She says,
"We made happy place. Look."
And it's absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
He'll kind of freeze up for a moment and just look around.
She says, "Look at that. Door open." Oh.
And she kind of points.
Your friends. Where are they?
Oh boy.
Okay. I need to tell you something.
Yes?
She gets very close.
They are our friends now, and we do not hurt or eat them.
Okay. I won't hurt or eat them.
Okay.
Okay.
Her breath is putrid.
I'll almost reach to like put a hand on her shoulder, like thanks, but I slightly reach and then just put my hand back down.
As you go to reach, she moves so that you would touch a more private part of her body, so that, you know, it would be like, "Oh, oops." But when you put your head down, she goes, "What's wrong? You don't want to touch me?"
I don't want to be, very...
You feel muscles. Feel this.
And she kind of takes your hand and says, "I strong?
Very strong.
I well made?"
Yes. Well made. Let's
She goes,
go.
"Are you feeling well? You look sick."
I've been hanging with the not this.
Why you hang? You should walk on feet better.
Spending time.
I feel that feel again.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's just go.
Yeah, you go first. I watch.
Okay.
And as you walk away, you can feel her eyes on you, big business, as you step into the darkness. And our camera goes back inside. And as you all kind of begin to creep forward, I will let you make a perception survival. This will be a custom roll, so you'll need to use that nice spot up there at the top of your character sheet. It looks like we're sitting on 3 action points, if anybody wants some. Okay. Oh. It is dark. Okay. As you all creep into the
boy.
space, it's really hard to see. The caution lights are on these far walls, so they illuminate very little because they're meant to be like backup lights and they've been running for 200 damn years. And as you creep forward, I imagine Mason, your body maybe bumps something metal right here as you kind of scooch into the room, and you bump into a large metal boiler type thing, and you hear that loud clank of the metal. As you all begin to creep forward, you are fully aware that there is a wall here and some doors, give or take, and some stairs that maybe even, I think the only person that saw anything was Sister Delilah. Mortimer, maybe you trip over these stairs that go up to this upper level catwalk.
Can I test out the flamer to get to provide some light?
Yeah, absolutely.
I finally have use of my flame hand.
Yeah, you do now.
I do that. I get it up to a point where it like illuminates like a torch.
Well, Mortimer, as you kind of trip the torch, and it sheds warm light all along this centralized area, and you get a much better kind of picture of this factory. Beyond the high ceilings, you can see that there's a big open space back here and here. You're unsure what these are because there's like a solid wall, but this space continues deeper. You are very clear that these stairs lead up to doors and such, so there's probably offices, bathrooms. You're not entirely sure, but there'll be some things upstairs. Yeah, but so far you see nothing move. Everything around you, and maybe now that it's fully illuminated, you can see more of these skeletons crunched in corners, skeletons hands around another skeleton's throat. There was something weird that happened here before that door was closed permanently.
Why was
Someone
everyone in
definitely
here
seems
killing each other?
Off. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't like this, but maybe we just keep moving.
Doc, can we hear the sounds of big business and
Yeah,
Thrash?
I'd say about now you hear the sound of her voice behind you.
And I think Big Business will even though it's dark inside, he's going to call out. He's going to stage whisper, shout as quietly as he can, and say, I guess you'd call out,
Hello?
As
Are
you
you guys in here?
as you say that, you see a flamer, like flames, come out of the darkness ahead of you. Just so that you know, Big Business, you're entering down here, this entrance with Thrash. They're kind of deeper into the center of this. So way down the kind of factory floor, you see the flame come off of their bodies, and it illuminates them. And she goes, "Oh no, fire! Scared!" And she kind of jumps to...
I'll hold her and say, it's okay.
So scary. Your friend's scary.
They are strong. Hello? Is that you guys?
We're
It would
here.
be us. Yes.
Wait for us.
As you kind of clump forward.
Us?
And you can hear her feet crunching skeleton bones as she nonchalantly kind of kicks them around to the side. Like she has no reason to be sneaky.
All right.
This is
I Thrash.
Thrash.
You not supposed to be here. She points right at Sister Delilah. You two, time up. Go.
No, she is our friend now. She is.
Oh, your friend's so skinny.
That's okay.
Tiny friends. How they protect
I-
you?
I don't need protection.
I
I'm
protect
big
you.
and strong. Right. Anyway.
Right.
You can see Big Business seems to be going through it at the moment with her.
Thrash, do you know anything about this place?
No.
Okay.
Never got door open. You smarter. Oh,
Ah.
you stupid.
This was a toy factory.
What toy?
Toys what they would give to children to make them happy, to play.
Why make children happy? Just eat them.
It was a different time, Thrash.
Time.
But it was a toy factory. They would make toys for children. The preeminent toy at the time was Jolly the Chimp. A small monkey with cymbals that would crash its hands together.
Oh, I had monkey once.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
I figured.
What are you doing in here?
The
Yeah,
doors
what
were
you
locked.
doing in here? Good question.
The The doors were locked, but there are many dead people inside.
So?
I
They'd
can
have no
see
meat
that.
on them.
Yes, but they were defending the doors, preventing something from escaping. That means that there is something still in here, something that could be of use to you, Thrash, and to us as well. Besides, we still have 30 minutes.
Yes. No. Time up.
Oh, it didn't count when you were making friends with our friend Big Business. Besides, you appear to be quite attached to him at this point.
Attach.
Yes.
We
if
should.
there was...
Yes, we attach. I once seen Super Mutant. They sew legs together. 3 legs, 2 Super Mutant. 1
Right.
heart.
Maybe. But we, as long as we still have 30 minutes, we look at this place, then we go.
Oh, so boring. And she kind of kicks a skeleton over.
Is that the beginnings of a fortuitous relationship that we're seeing? Big Business, you dog, you.
He no dog. He's Super Mutant. Your friend's stupid.
You massive super mutant indeed.
Keep
Well,
going.
Where are you going is the question. You know there is an upstairs, and you know there is another kind of half of the factory behind this, in the darkness, beyond, if you would.
I want to wander up onto the gantry because of the natural instinct of a sniper to be high up.
Yeah, sure. It makes you feel better. And as you get up higher, between Mason's butt flame and the actual flamer fuel, it's well lit enough that you can see there is a door that leads here, and there's a door that leads here. This one is marked offices. This one is marked mess.
That is convenient. They label a mess inside the room.
I label. See?
Shows you.
Mortimer, what are you looking for? Something?
Well, we're looking for the symbols, the monkey symbols. That was what Sister Geiger wanted.
Paper. He looked papers. Show him the paper.
I show the paper and point at the symbols on the paper.
None of that here.
Papers.
Can promise.
In office, maybe.
It could be anywhere. That hopefully it's just like a box of them or something. But I'm gonna try the office. Maybe that'll help me out on what exactly happened here.
The office
idea.
door is locked with a normal lock.
I test the key card just in case.
No, there's no key card to slide it in. It looks like
Okay,
this
just-
is like
just
a
a-
yeah.
just a
This is a
lock.
lock. Yeah. Mason might be able to do something with that.
I'm like, Mason, this might be a job for you. You're good with locks, right?
oh, you've said the magic word. I'm on my way.
You kind of scoot over, and you find a pretty standard office door lock, like pre-war lock.
This is child's play.
What?
You
Roll
could,
that
you
lock.
could break this,
Roll the lock.
but I will try anyway.
You could probably just kick the door open, but
Oh yeah, that's why Mortimer isn't good at lock
one
picking.
is plenty. And you know that there would be a physical metal key for this. Is kind of that door, and you are able to kind of jimmy, and it clicks open.
Elementary, my dear Mortimer.
And you see a pretty grim sight in front of you. You
Boy.
see a skeleton body of what was probably a woman based on the clothing, face down on her desk here. Next to a terminal. It was very clear, based on the way she's laying, she was probably shot from behind or maybe the side of the head. She was murdered here. And as you go to push the door open, you can tell that there was some stuff put in front of it as if they tried to barricade it with what little they had here. And with it, extra effort or push, it pushes a small filing cabinet and some crates out of the way. So it was barricaded from the inside. As you come in, there is only green low light coming from the computer at her terminal. And it shows you that there is another door in this room here.
Can we peter through the terminal to see what is going on with this place?
Sure you can. It is a repair check. It seems to be
Nice.
locked. You need one
Classic
success.
Fallout.
Yep, classic Fallout. The terminal's locked.
Yep,
Gotta
going
have
through.
that. Gotta
and
have your
going through a
password.
dark location with a bunch
Yep.
of random stuff
All
going
right.
on. Terminals your only answer.
Hey, one
Can I
success.
ask the
all we need.
team?
Yeah.
No, I didn't roll. That was for
Oh,
the previous
okay,
roll.
okay.
I asked the team, can I use an action point?
Go
Go
for it.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oops, I went the wrong way. That's what we wanted. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Nice.
In you
Nice.
go. This one is not as complicated as the main door. It's very clear that was like a keep out space. But this is still pretty difficult. And he clicks away. You hear again that metal on the keys, this mechanical keyboard attached to a monitor. And eventually it does. And you hear that like as information begins filling the screen. And as it does seem to be some pretty standard stuff, Mason. Logs and dates for the president of this like manufacturer, like whoever was in charge here, his like day to day. But I will give it to you since you broke into his secretary's computer. His personal logs are on here too, and you got a 2, so you're able to get into those. And what you find is that at quick glance, his most recent logs before they all went away were about a change happening here in the factory. That they were using a new chemical to dip part of the toy in, and he had fears that it was making his employees sick. And he was denied by the corporation the leave time for his staff, that they were forced to continue to work under whatever condition he believed was there. They did not believe him. And the short of it is maybe whatever that chemical was, it affected the people.
The conditions of operation here became a bit hazardous. The employees were suffering under a newfound an element outside of their immediate control. They were dipping this with a strange substance that was yielding their employees sick. But they were denied the time off.
He seems to be using some kind of code name in the messaging or like in his journaling for that chemical. He keeps calling it L, like the letter L, B, like Bravo.
And there's some sort of element name here that referring to it LB.
Somebody could roll a science check. Too bad Maggie's not here.
Yeah.
Try. I'll try.
Don't have anything in that.
I'm not even gonna try.
Mason, you take a second. You're like, okay. What could it be? A little bit pre-war. There was like an elemental table that was used quite frequently, and LB was the symbol for lead.
And if I am correct in assuming so, and from the periodic elements, that may have been lead. Lead poisoning would have yielded a significant amount of death.
Sister
Isn't lead PB?
It was PB, not LB. You're right. It's PB, right? PB? You clearly,
It's PB,
science was not my top. But yeah, it seems to be the element for maybe lead. So they had started dipping part of the toy in lead, or casting maybe the symbols in lead and then painting them gold, and people were getting lead poisoning, which can cause people to do crazy things.
Were you going to say something about Sister Delilah? Yeah.
Oh, Sister Delilah, yes. No, you wouldn't know this because, like, you don't know. You're not a science person. So if you had a little bit more science, I could give you more. But nah, you wouldn't really know anything about lead in terms of radiation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Business will go to the next door and say, or he'll just try to kick it down. Because Mason's at the terminal doing terminal stuff, so he's curious and he's just
this door flies open and you hear Thrash go, "Oh, nice," as you kick the door open, and inside you see who was probably the president. In fact, he wears a suit much like yours, except now he's a skeleton, and he's sitting at his terminal, and it does look like he chose to end his own life. But he is sitting like at his terminal as if maybe there's a letter there, a last note, you're unsure, but this whole place is dead quiet. It's like a graveyard.
Business will go to, if there's something physical on the desk, like a letter, he will take it. Okay, he'll pass it over to
And he's got a 9mm sitting laying on the desk.
What is that?
I'll give it to Delilah.
I'll take a look.
It is a letter that basically states that he should never have listened to the corporation, that everybody has gotten sick and they're now attacking each other. He's called for a lockdown protocol, security lockdown protocol. And
Well-
he's unsure how this will end. And he's like signs his name, and it does seem like
Quite a sad note to read. Seems this person might have been the one that ran this place, and all of the employees just were unwell and hurting each other.
he probably also has some regret for making toys out of something that's poisoning people, and so part of the lockdown was to keep the corporation from being able to ship out this round of toys to children.
Seems this corporation was only in it for the production and not.
Yep. Lead was cheaper.
Sounds about right for most.
Sounds about Fallout, doesn't it?
Oh, I go back out. Mortimer, Mason. I think this place seemed to have some people who were unwell and losing their minds, fighting each other, poisoned. That's at least what's on this note. So I guess maybe there isn't a threat in here, and then they all took care of themselves.
I guess they all killed each other.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Suppose that we should surveil then. Find what we can and leave the dead to where they lie.
Yes.
About this time downstairs, actually, you hear the laughter of Thrash. She's like, ha 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 ha, fun, ha 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 ha. And there's a slight like clanking in between her laughter. Oh, fun, clack clack.
I think Big Business was in the middle of removing the tie from this man in the suit.
Yeah. He's got a really nice untouched tie.
And
Oh, yeah, does anyone have hats? We gotta harvest all the hats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
I will say
Oh.
there's a lot of hard hats, like working hats. So we'll say you could pick up a couple like hard hats that don't have holes in them, and you could probably pick up like maybe the secretary is wearing some kind of like pillbox hat or like more fashionable hat. It's got a blood stain on it, but that's nothing that can't be scrubbed out.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Big Business will take the tie and then hand the 9mm that the president had to Mortimer, and he'll rush out and say,
I'll see to Thrash.
and run down and
As you look over the
yeah.
side, what you witness is that Thrash has actually found a box of these symbols, these lead symbols, and her hands are big enough that she's put like a couple of the symbols on fingers, and she's like, and she's like clacking them together.
This looks fun. Mortimer, are you looking for symbols? We found them.
Oh, yes, that is what I'm looking for.
Clack, clack, and she's just still like clink, clink. She has no idea y'all were looking at her.
What are they? What do they need these for?
She was making a weapon with them. Apparently.
Oh.
I don't understand how, but this is apparently what she needed.
Okay.
Though she might have been thinking they were a different material. I don't know if she knew they were lead. Maybe this ruins the plan.
Maybe
We
she
will
knew
bring
they
the
were lead.
box.
Anybody else want to roll a science check again? You need it too.
Big Business wants to roll a science check.
Why not, big business? It's the worst that could happen. You got one success. If what he's saying is that she's making an anti-radiation gun and she needs these
Well,
specific...
he didn't say that.
Oh, okay, so you don't know that. He said
Yeah.
she's making a weapon. Why she would need these for a weapon, you're unsure. You don't exactly know what lead is,
Yeah.
but maybe lead does actually have something to do with it. Maybe the material is important.
Yeah. Calculus will drift by his head and then
Yeah.
he'll come to a conclusion and say,
We'll just bring the whole box.
And you get down there and you can see there is no box. And she's still like, look what I found over there. And she points with a symbol like on her finger. This direction. Oh,
Maybe
I'm
we
not
can-
on the map. Up here. North.
We can load this all up. There's that nice sled upstairs. We can use it to push it around the snow and bring as many as we possibly can.
Closer. There we go.
Sounds good.
As you walk over and Mason lights the area a little bit, you see something maybe rather familiar, though pre-war, which is a forge. You see solid metal pools, right here, these 4 of them. A magnetic like crane that clearly like held things that got dipped, right? And you see a conveyor belt to your right, which is a conveyor belt that literally takes the cast symbols and paints them gold, and then it comes back the other side. They get attached to monkeys. So at this end, you see stacks and boxes of these monkeys all over the place. There's symbols unpainted all up and down this side, and painted ones coming down this side of the conveyor belt. And you're gonna guess, if you have any general idea, that this is probably where they dipped those, or they made those symbols, where they cast the actual metal lead symbols. So these are pools of unheated lead.
I feel like she could have a nice factory down here if she really wanted a lot of this material.
No, this my factory.
She says with the symbol still on her fingers.
Yes, of course.
Nobody have it but me.
Thrash, what seems to be keeping you in the area?
This home.
But what do you do if we leave, the 4 of us?
I'd stay. My home. Big business stay too, 'cause now his home.
Do you have no other home?
No.
Would you be interested in finding another home, someplace where we could frequent and bring big business frequently?
Why you bring him if he stay?
Well, he has business that he must attend to, things that he must accomplish first.
I have feelings, big business.
I go out and get us food and...
Oh, you provider. I stay at home mutant.
Right. And I have another home. Nicer
You
and...
move me to nice home? I stay?
I turn to Mason and say,
Are we sure that is a good idea?
I don't think it's a poor idea at all. There is a strong chance that these sisters at Mechminster could benefit a great deal from this location.
Oh,
You do know that you kind of convinced her to not bother the sisters.
Yeah.
You might be able to convince her to actually help protect them. Like if she's
It-
first line of defense, if she stays here.
Thrash, what are the odds that you might be willing to cohabitate?
live together.
With big business?
I will be provider.
I cohabitate with big business.
Would you be willing to meet the sisters?
He has
Ladies.
sisters? I killed them for his love.
Oh,
No, not family.
No.
But that's what
They are
sister is.
sisters with each other, not with me.
That's weird. Why you call him sister?
It's more like a referendum, a title. It's what they go by.
Like
Like a name.
Thrash Jr.
All your sisters named sister?
They have 2 names that they go by. Think like Mary Sue.
Stupid name.
I agree. It's not for me to decide.
I decide stupid.
Very good.
What if I stay here 'cause it's home? And you, big business, come home.
When I'm not providing, yes.
Yeah, will you provide for me while I stay at home mutant?
You may still have to, I may not be back in time.
I miss you.
Yes, and sometimes you need to get food yourself until
And
I
other
bring...
sustenance.
Yes,
And you
like
come home to
Tub
provide it.
and Dub or whatever.
Yeah,
their
they
names.
sustenance from each other.
I feel like nothing's changed, but okay.
So I stay here with click clacks. You come home with sustenance.
Yes.
I agree to plan. And I not harm your sisters named sister.
Good.
And you would be okay with them living with you?
They come I don't want sisters in house.
Maybe they stop by.
There's
and...
no room for them here. Look at it, so tiny. I so big. Our
They're
love.
very small, like Delilah and myself.
Your sister's tiny, more reason to eat them.
Oh no, they
Remember,
wouldn't
we
like
don't
that.
eat them. They are friends.
I say you should eat them. They're tiny sisters. What good are they?
No, they good in talking, remember?
I don't know if this is going to work.
They make weapons.
What kind of
Your gun is broken.
It is fine. She's just like my face.
We need symbols because the sister is making new gun. She help you make your gun better. But if she come here to use this place,
If gun needed to be better, sister make it better.
yes,
Stupendous beyond what you could imagine.
we learn new thing, which is little smaller people, not just for eating. They do good things like make guns better or give things for me to provide.
Thrash, what would you say if I provided you with something that would be significantly bigger? A bigger boom?
Bigger boom weapon?
Yes.
I take
As
big boom weapon.
As a peace offering. To let the sisters work
Yes.
here.
What is that?
It's going to take me a minute to retrieve, if you would be fine with that. I'll have to leave and come right back.
Well, you can leave any time. Big business has not provided.
Big business, I will be retrieving the receptacle I found, attached to Misty and Susan.
You know more about what it does than I do, but is that a good idea either?
Nothing is a good idea in the wasteland. We're simply trying to survive. And if this is a means of peace offering, negotiations. Besides, she'll be the only super mutant on this location. She'll need a means to survive and defend for herself.
Yes, I fend for self. Except when you're home.
Thrash, what would you say if you were to come and meet the sisters and they provide you that weapon?
Weapon. I know so good with talk.
We'll talk for you. We'll help.
Maybe. What do
Big
these
business.
sisters want in return for Big Boom?
They will just want to work here. Maybe that they're trying to survive like you are.
What?
You saw the ghouls? Those things are tumultuous creatures. And they're small. They need your protection. They're
I
like
thought
children.
you just wanted paper.
We might be overcomplicating the situation now.
She smiles like did she, like she fixed the problem.
And she
I'm
says,
sorry.
so I help you carry paper.
This is error of my ways. I must speak to someone who is willing to speak my language.
Mortimer, you have what you need.
There
Yes, I
is
think
hundreds of these lead symbols that look just like the disc on the drawing.
yeah, we'll fill a crate with mix of the painted ones and unpainted ones. So I don't know if it matters which one.
Yes.
For Sister Geiger, we'll take them back and we can maybe try and broker a peace deal at the same time.
So you load, my understanding is you're going to load some boxes of these symbols up onto the sled.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She'll help as much, Thrasher will help as much as she can.
She says, this fun. I pull it.
Sure.
Yes.
And she'll kind of grab it. She says, look, so easy. And she kind of starts through the snow and you can see it stays on the top of the snow. For those of you that have never seen a sled in action before.
This is really helpful. This is working for us.
I
Yes,
work for it.
I will have to convince her not to keep it.
Or kill everybody at Mechminster Abbey. That too.
Let's get going.
And get going, you do. You head back down the road with no problem. She talks the whole time, specifically to big business. But it's about a 10-minute walk up the road, and When you arrive, you can see the rest of the sisters are out front patching the last hole you all left. And you can see
Oops.
Reverend Riveter standing there with her hands on her hips, and she looks at all of you and she says, I see you're back. I hope it was worth it, considering the fact you only did half of your job.
We'll finish the wall. There was just there was a time-critical situation.
And you found another mouth to feed. She looks at Thrasher pulling the sled.
She's well fed.
She has her own food. This is Thrash, and
I Thrash.
she stays in the factory, and
Factory?
You,
What factory?
the one where the super mutants were.
Yes, down there.
Sister Geiger did not send you to that factory, did she?
Oh,
Yeah.
You didn't actually go, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come
It
back.
worked.
She
I
looks around, all the
hold up
rest of the
some of the discs.
the sisters are like, holy crap. And she says, she snatches this disc and looks at it. She says, I'm impressed to know that they were actually there. And she kind of puts it back in the box. She said, but the reason we didn't do that is because we didn't want the super mutants to know where we are. And she says that kind of under the table, so maybe Thrasher won't understand.
Well, now it's super mutant, and we might be
This-
able to talk some sense into them.
this one's friendly. Like big business.
Half like big, but it's a work in progress.
One moment, please. Mortimer and Delilah, if you will.
Yes.
Kind of usher them to the side.
Oh, can you whisper now?
I can.
Wow.
Strange series of events, but here we are. Do you know what is most necessary for a marriage?
Love?
Having someone at the church. Having someone at the church. They must
Have-
perform. Consummate the experience.
You want them to get married?
I think she is not going to let him walk away. Otherwise, he can try, but he's already been ensnared.
And do you think that will prevent her from just angrily destroying everything?
If they were to perform the rites, she might feel beholden to them. If they can also repair her firearms, they provide for each other, a symbiotic relationship.
We should make sure big business is okay with this.
I think he's going to be on the road regardless, hence why he said he would provide from afar.
Traveling
It's
businessman
in his
husband.
hands.
Yeah. That being said, while they're kind of talking, big business, you see the Reverend Riveter go, I am the Reverend Riveter. And Thrash goes,
Roosie Reveter. She tiny too. All friends tiny? Big business.
Yes, all are tiny and they are friends.
Seems
not
like waste
food.
of meat.
They do helpful things.
She looks him up and down. Why they build walls? Who they try to keep out?
Ghouls.
I hate ghouls. Stupid ghouls. Ate my rug and tug.
Right.
Or tug and
So-
jug. I can't remember the name.
They will
I look at Riveter and say,
Thrash, because she likes me and thinks I am cute, yes,
I so cute.
will be nice.
I try
With-
for big business, but make no promises.
Well, if you are not nice to them, I will not like you.
Oh. Okay, I'd be nice.
Okay.
Okay.
I look back at Riveter like,
she looks at you and she says, that seems like a pretty thin promise, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since the two of you seem to have a good rapport, and we trust you, big business, I'm going to trust that this will keep my people safe and not endanger them.
Right.
Right. Well, Thrash, it is a pleasure to meet you. We really appreciate your box of
Clack clacks, they're called clack clacks.
You a box of clack clacks. We are so very pleased. Why don't she kind of looks at you like, I can't really let her in. There's like
This can be just, we meet and make arrangement. Oh, look, friends are coming back. Maybe they have.
Yeah, and as y'all kind of come back from your whisper session, you can see that the Reverend Riveter is attempting to communicate with Thrash in a cordial way.
Thrash was informing us that she has an issue. Her means of protection have almost fallen. Her firearm has been destroyed. And she was hoping, in good faith, to potentially work with you, especially under the guise and consistent protection from big business,
Broke boom boom fix.
that you would help her, and she would help you.
I see. Thrash will be happy to fix your boom boom, though it may take us time. So, to assure that we can maintain our cordiality, why don't we give you a replacement until we can fix this one? She kind of looks at you like, we can't just take her weapon. She might get upset. And she whispers into one of the other sisters, and you probably hear her say something about Amos Nishin. And that sister kind of runs off, happy to get out of the eyesight of this super mutant woman. And she runs back into the church.
Reverend, that factory is, well, it's something more.
More?
It's a fully functional forge.
It's on. There's a forge.
Yes, admittedly it's running on bare minimum power at this point, but it is a fully functional forge with a conveyor system. Everything that would assist you in your endeavors as well, which is why we're positing this idea.
I will make note of that, though I fear that we don't have enough to maintain hold on that place, and if it does, in fact, belong to our dear Thrasher, I would hate to relieve her of it.
I look at Thrasher and say, because Big Business also remembers, now that we're back in front of the church, looking inside the doors and seeing how cramped everyone is, and their need for more space, and maybe to start a farm somewhere, and Business will look over and say,
Thrash, what if we don't leave each other and we make home together where we go? You would be happy for me not to leave, and so we go together out and explore.
You want me to leave home to go with you?
Yes, and I say we have big home, other than this one.
Where's big home?
South of here, somewhere. We will go there one day. We have, I hear this term. I don't know if it work, but think of it like vacation or honeymoon. We go and travel and see things and kill stuff and eat together.
I don't like travel.
You ever travel before?
I travel from old home to new home.
It's not fun.
Travel's scary.
Well,
Everybody try to kill Super Mutant.
It's not fun and scary because we weren't together, but now we are. And now it will be fun and not scary. It will...
Why you lie to Thrasher?
I'm not lying. I got here. I travel. I'm fine. People not
You tried
kill
to get me to leave home. Why? Tell truth.
I look back.
Home that you have not so good for you anymore. Tug and jog gone. Home could be good for people who are helpful to them.
You want my home to be their home.
Yes,
That is truth.
we make new home. You come with us.
Hmm. Okay, but... Okay.
She's unsure if she wants to do that or not. She gets the idea that you're playing her, right?
Mhm.
That you're cheating her out of something, but she's not smart enough to quite put her finger on it.
She says, how about this? I go home to my home. I pack bags. And if you tell truth and come home with me, I go with you in tomorrow.
So I go home with you now.
Yes. You
And
be
we
provider.
Leave tomorrow. We leave tomorrow and leave your home for them.
I leave my home if they take it on them. That's their business. You my business. Big business.
Okay.
Okay. Tiny woman. Reverend Rover, you take home. Don't make it messy. I work hard.
I look back at my business associates like, anything to add here? No?
So very little to say. You said
Okay.
so many words and so few at the same time.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Reverend River goes, that's very kind of you. Why don't we send her back home and you with her? Big business?
Right. Let me grab Misty and Susan.
Who Misty Susan? I killed them.
They are pet.
I
Like-
pet. You pet me.
Just stay here. 1 second.
And I go and grab Misty and Susan and come back out.
Oh, you brought dinner.
You try milk? Milk is special food. Only get if living.
Belly liquid? So gross.
Tastes good.
Gross. It's okay.
Come on.
We work on taste buds.
She grabs you by the little tie and begins to
Yeah.
drag you back to the location down the road.
Mm-hmm. I look back at the party
Please, God save
and
me.
yeah, eyes raised like, please God save me, and then just kind of lowering down to understand what I have done for us.
Thumbs up from as you're going, like.
And
As they
I
walk
will
off
go
into
off.
the cold, the Reverend River looks at all of you and she says, my goodness, I don't know what to say. She hands one gun to another one, and then she says, please take this to Sister Amos Mission and ask her to fast track the fixing of it. As for this factory, we will look into it as an alternative, but that's not going to happen today. She looks at all of you. She says, in fact, as much as I have very much appreciated your company, it seems that trouble follows the four of you quite a lot. She looks up at the steeple and she yells, Sister Geiger, delivery. And you see the kind of crazy haired, bug-eyed woman peep over the steeple down at all of you. And she mutters something. You can just hear her kind of crackly voice on the wind. And then she scutters and disappears again. And she says, I can't believe that you listened to her antics, but if it keeps her quiet for a little while longer, I guess there's no problem in you delivering these parts. She looks at the boxes of symbols.
There was an opportunity, we took it.
Well, if it truly does mean she gets that damn machine running, then we owe you more than I thought. She says,
Yes.
I do not want to kick you out in the cold, but I am going to ask that you leave tomorrow. We need to make space for more people. And less mouths to feed.
We were probably about to head out and continue on our way anyway, so.
She says, but don't let that stop you from coming back. Please. You are always welcome here at Mechminster Abbey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get that wall finished.
She says, don't worry, the sisters already finished it. You all did the hard part already. As for Thrash, that is an unexpected development, and we will see what we can do to maintain it, though I fear for the livelihood of your friend.
I think he'll be all right.
Yes, your silence says everything. We'll come inside and warm your bones. The fence is up, at least we're safe for the night. And Sister Delilah, I have something for you.
Oh, lovely.
I believe the rest of you should see Sister Amos Nishin. She has some upgrades for your weapons.
Perfect.
You. And she points at Sister Delilah. Come.
Yes.
The rest of you go up to find Sister Amos Nishin looking over the damage of Thrasher's weapon and sees you all come in. She smiles, a knowing smile of like, she's got some things for you. And she pulls out a leather kind of, I guess it's really a blanket or like a leather piece, a large one. And as she flips it back, you can see that she's got some things to go on guns, some parts for Mason, those kinds of things. But downstairs, or the Reverend Riveter leads you to kind of the other side of the forge to a very small private space, which might have been at one point like a prayer chapel. It's a very small room, but very clearly her private quarters. And as she walks in, she picks up something shiny off the bedside table. It's a very modest, quaint room. And she turns around and she hands it to you, Sister Delilah. It is a sea wrench.
Oh. What is this for?
She says, Sister Amos Nishin informed me that you are struggling with your faith. She says, that is a sea wrench. It's a tool.
Oh, yes, I've seen some of you with this.
She says, yes, we all carry one or something similar. Unlike that symbol you adorn, and she points to the patch still on your vestments. She says, this is not really a symbol. It is a item that we use to make the world a better place. It's meant for fixing things instead of tearing them down. So we're gifting you your first sea wrench. If you choose to use it to help everybody out in the wasteland, the next time you return, we'll be happy to put you in your own vestments.
Thank you. This is a very kind gesture, and I appreciate it greatly. The words that you've said here, I will keep them to heart, Sister Amos as well. I do want to help people.
She says, I've had no doubt about that. That was very clear to me the moment you all showed up on our doorstep and took care of those ghouls.
Yes.
I give you this more as a reminder than anything, Sister Delilah, that whatever you choose to do out in the wasteland, whether you return or you adorn it or you burn that patch, that your faith does not have to be driven by a symbol. I'm sure Sister Amos Nishin told you that, but sometimes the doing is the most important thing. And you're going to need a tool to do that with. And she firmly places that heavy sea wrench in your hand. And she says, so do with it what you will. You can sell it for caps if you want. It matters not to me. But what does matter is that I have done my job to remind you that this place doesn't require you to question your faith, but to live it.
She takes it in her hand and just kind of looks at it, observes it, and nods.
She says, have a good evening, Sister Delilah. I must to the forge. I imagine that the stew must be cooked soon, and your friends could probably use some warmth, considering the fact that you've been wooing a super mutant in the cold for the last few hours.
Yes, that would be really, really delightful to end this day.
She says, come on. Let's see if we can't warm those bones. And she leads you back outside, where we will end today's episode with some upgrades to everybody's weapons. and maybe one final night resting up here inside of Mechminster Abbey before you figure out what your next steps are. But I cannot end without at least a cutscene to our happy home. You know what? I will leave this to you, Zach. What does your evening consist of?
I think despite it all, as things have calmed down a bit and business is spending time with Thrash alone, there's maybe some sympathy on his end for the super mutant way of life that he left behind, and understanding more of how she sees things, having lived that life for a long time. And then he does his best to tell her about how he lives, and hopes that his level of empathy and acceptance that he's offering to her is reciprocated. And if it is, I think he warms up to her a little.
You know
bit,
what? And I
at
think
least.
you sharing helps her open up. Even with her minimal vocabulary, she's able to convey to you that her and Jug and Tug came here from another super mutant community. That she can actually relate to you in some ways, because they were tired of being under the rule of these harsh super mutants, that they wanted to build their own home. And that does probably resonate with you very deeply. And that even though they've been here a while, they've not actually attacked the sisters. They were being attacked by ghouls. So you get the vibe, and this happens sometimes. Some super mutants just want to be left alone. They want to have their little cubby in their hole, and yes, they might go out hunting, but not all of them are in a constant rage. And she kind of shows you where she hides her food and how she does her things. And she does cook up Jug tonight for dinner. Whether you eat it or not is up to you. But she seems... You get the idea. This happens sometimes when you're younger. You have these strong opinions about something. You lean heavily into the black or white. And your time with her may lead you to believe that maybe there are more super mutants than not that live in a gray area. Are they as intelligent as you? Maybe not. But some of them, too, just want quality of life. And that's kind of what she was trying. Her and these two guys were trying to make here. And the reason that they came with her is because they too were friends. They were in love, these two super mutants, and it wasn't necessarily accepted in that community that they came from.
Tug and Jug were?
Yeah, she hinted that they were friends too. They were probably lovers of some kind, at least in a super mutant kind of way. And so she shares quite a lot with you. She tells you about the harshities of the last place they left. It was North Boston. Somewhere near Bunker Hill, they held a bridge. This large super mutant group, and they escaped and came all the way here, and they found this place to kind of settle as far away as they could from all of that. And it's actually kind of a nice night. But she's got so much Jug in her belly by the end of the night, she probably falls asleep listening to you talk to her, using big words and your boisterous voice, and she falls asleep in your arms before you have to commit any acts of love with her. And this night, surprisingly enough, you sleep well. You didn't think maybe in this kind of a place you could, but something about being around your own kind does offer its own semblance of security. And you sleep well this night, big business.
I think so. Yeah, some things that only a fellow super mutant can relate on.
And you share only things that super mutants can. And it's hard for super mutants in this case to reveal insecurity or problems. You know, they have that strong nature. So it's a very tender moment between two super mutants. Maybe misunderstood, but super mutants nonetheless. And we'll end our episode there because we are at time, everybody. We are at time. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. I want to remind you to do some things. Check out our Discord. This is a space you can come. Oh, did it not drop my Discord link? It did not. Okay, let me do it the old-fashioned way. You can go check out our Discord. I encourage you to also, if you want to support us more, check out our Patreon. I'm excited to announce that some big things are coming for Pod by Night. Without using too much big business jargon, we are kind of expanding the Pod by Night brand. And what that actually means is we're going to be doing, obviously you can tell, more than just World of Darkness. World of Darkness is not going anywhere. But we're going to be putting out some new podcasts coming in 2025 that is not using World of Darkness, but still falls under kind of the Pod by, as we're calling ourselves, the Pod by group. which is really, really exciting. I think you'll be interested to hear Zach and Bub and Tracy on a little podcast we dug up from a stream we did a while back. So yeah, you can expect the same quality role play, the same horror, just in space. That's all I can tell you right now about that. But this does mean some exciting things for us. And so all the help that we can get over on our Patreon assures that we can keep this going, that we can keep paying people. And if you want to pay the beautiful faces you see here on the screen, make sure you use that tip bar right there. Plus I'll add some extra chaos. So I'm questioning how we can get more chaotic than our super mutant love affair that's happening here. So anyways, I guess we'll find out. Thanks, Bub, Tracy, Zach, and Bentham for joining us this week. We're going to go record an after show, everybody, which you can also get by joining us over on Patreon. We will see you all. Actually, we're not going to see you next week. Next week is Thanksgiving here in the States. We're going to be taking next Saturday off. We'll be back the Saturday after that, fresh in December, to close out this year. So we'll see how that goes, everybody. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.